Welcome to Dark Dial.
Good evening,
Thursday.
and welcome to Dark Dial. We're gonna get it tonight. I am your host, one of your hosts, Gavin, and they are...
And Chance.
I'm Jacqueline, and you can find me at deepfrieddesigns.com for any of your custom needs for t-shirts, keychains. I do it all.
How you guys doing today?
I'm here. We're getting by.
It's Magnificent Thursday.
It's a Thursday. Thursday's an odd day. I really wish the week would go from Wednesday to Friday.
Yeah.
Just in general, just like over the course of history, I feel like Thursday is like the redheaded stepchild of days.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Thursdays. It's way better than Mondays.
I mean, yeah, it's better than Monday.
You bad-mouthing Thursday?
I am.
It's
Yeah.
Dark Dial Thursday.
Well, yeah, but it could be Dark Dial whatever. If Thursday wasn't there, we'd just replace it with whatever day replaced Thursday in the time scale. You know what I'm saying? Like if we went back in time, changed history so that Thursday didn't exist.
Is it just the name you take issue with? Can we just change the name of the day?
No, I feel like there should just be one less day in the week.
Let's call it Super Happy Fun Time Day.
It sounds like Happy Tree Friends.
Can't wait till Super Happy Fun Time Day.
Here for just a moment. Let's see.
Hi, Rick. How you doing?
We've been watching some of your videos. Wow. I was thoroughly amazed. The beautiful wedding one and the truck one with the action scene. Amazing. Super impressed.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff.
I was in awe.
What you guys been up to?
Exclusively existed at the gym and in the world of sleep.
You
Sleep. What I wish I had, but I don't because I have kids.
Dance is gonna collapse in about 15 minutes, and his muscles are just gonna pop out of his skin.
And run away from me.
We tried to give him caffeine, but he was a no-go.
He's all about that creatine.
Oh man, I tell you what. I've been just dry scooping that shit.
Have you sourced bulk creatine yet?
No, I've sourced expensive Walmart creatine, but I'll figure it out eventually.
I have this.
Month we're gonna see Chance like.
Oh, dude, I'm trying to get swole.
I just have this image of a 55-gallon drum just sitting in the corner of your room that you just shove your face into, like Scarface.
Oh man, I keep spilling it. I spilled it on black pants yesterday, and I'm like, if I get pulled over, this is a bad look.
Yeah, what have I been doing? I don't know. I've been working on some of the segments and stuff this week. I said last episode, like, hold me to it if I get 3 segments out. I managed to do that, so yay.
Oh yeah.
I did a lot of laundry, cleaning, kid stuff. Feels like I didn't accomplish much, but I actually accomplished a lot.
I've still been playing Zelda, Ocarina of Time, a little bit here and there. Link's all grown up now, so I've got a grown-up Link to deal with.
Fighting.
Yeah, he's all pubescent and whiny.
Angst.
It's terrible.
Angst has arrived.
I may or may not have given my child a Tamagotchi, and now all I hear is random high-pitched beeping coming from random places in the house. Only
me,
it's like
I'm
a
dying.
knockoff brand ones, because it was, from Temu.
It's a Tamagotchi.
And it's like a Tamagotchi is what we call it. But somehow it just keeps beeping and beeping, and she puts it in odd places, so I can't even find it. You just hear really high-pitched beeping coming from somewhere.
It's true.
Oh, I made a mistake, but now I can't make them go missing because, like she would know. I think George might be eating one soon.
So hopefully our audio sounds good. We messed with the mixers again, but as long as you guys are close to your mics, I think we'll be okay. Well, there you go. Just swallow it. Somebody's gonna meme that someday.
Oh dear.
Well, if you're watching, if you can do us a huge favor, give us a like and subscribe.
I got it this time.
Follow us on
Ow.
Rumble. If you're on Twitter or X, check us out there. We've got darkdial.com. You can check out all of our socials on there, as well as sign up for a cool forum.
That was the only time I'm going to be able to lift my arm tonight.
Oh.
I can't do it again.
Just use your nose.
Subscribe
Just here.
and
Just
give us what?
do it with your
Follow
face.
on Rumble.
I dragged Chance onto the set today, so
He may or may not have been asleep on the sofa.
Oh yeah, I passed out. I absolutely just died.
I was on the phone. I look over. I'm like, I think he might be actually asleep.
yeah, we're dragging him along today. So
I had a weird dream while I was asleep.
Oh,
Is it
what was
here?
that?
Yeah, there were ducks. It was a bunch of ducks, and they looked at me, real funny, and then they started talking, and they said, "The draft is gonna happen soon." And that's not a joke. That
Oh my
happened.
god, that's
that was
terrifying.
okay, so that was one of the things that I was debating on whether we should just cut to Rumble for this, but we'll probably just do it normally. I want to talk about the Kari Lake leak, that audio leak. Have
The
you
lake
heard
leak?
about that? Yes, the lake leak. You don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
I vaguely,
Okay.
Oh my
have
god,
seen a
if you
headline,
have
but I
not
don't
seen this
actually
10-minute
know.
video, your mind will be blown.
This is
I was sitting there like,
Oh,
I couldn't
dear.
believe it.
it's real conspiracy. We hypothesize about a lot of different conspiracies, right? But this is genuine
This is legit.
conspiracy, and there's no way it's anything but. So it's like it's high profile, legitimate political conspiracy that I think we should at least brush on, because we talk about conspiracies.
Exciting.
Yeah, not to enter the realm of politics too much. I mean, we always brush up against it because it's really hard to do any of these topics without brushing up against politics, because even UFOs today are political.
Yeah.
Literally political.
Next
Congressional
we're gonna
hearings.
See
and-
Vermin Supreme running for president with Sasquatch as his VP
Ver-
candidate.
I'm pretty sure that's his platform. Yeah.
Sorry guys if this squeaked at you.
Yeah, that was...
I didn't mean to.
You were watching one of the segments, and you saw me, make a face. I think we were talking to Rec in the,
Yeah.
The Obama
And you were
apocalypse.
pouring yourself some tea.
Yeah, and I was pouring tea, and I opened the thermos, and it just squeals. It squeaks because of the gasket on it, and I didn't know how much it had picked up on the mic, and I was like, oh. And
That's
I just
what
made
I was just thinking. I'm
"Ah."
like, oh no, I should have put that down a little lower. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. That's what. I was gonna say when we started, somebody remind me to take my tea bag out.
Oh god.
You know what I'm gonna remind you to do?
Bag?
No, start recording.
Oh, thank you.
Oh no.
I looked over there when you said remind. and
God.
it's like there's only one blue button.
Good thing we've just been goofing around so far. Yeah, I've been in the habit of starting it when we start the stream, and I did, but we stopped the stream. I have a PI friend in Arizona, and he tells me nightmare political corruption stories. I believe that.
Oh yeah.
Being in Arizona ourselves, I believe that, and we're gonna dig into it a little bit. That was Rec. I know while you're watching Rec, I assume you can still hear me. We were talking about, next time we do a video review, I know you had expressed some interest on being on the show, and I said maybe we can put you up on the cathode ray. So the next time we do some sort of film thing, if we could get involved in it, it'd be pretty cool. So, yeah. I guess we can jump into a number of stories here. So
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, just here in Arizona this week, we had a pretty big story just from another police chase on the border that ended up running head-on into an ambulance here in town, ended up hurting 2 of our EMTs.
Yeah.
And
So this is the kind of...
it's been bad.
It's the kind of border story that you don't hear a lot in the news.
Well, if you're not here where we are, you don't hear about it.
Wrong way driver on I-10 up in Tucson.
Well, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Though.
Well, but
And they were headed back here to Sierra Vista.
It was a load vehicle. They were carrying illegal immigrants. It's doing 100 miles an hour, going the wrong way on the highway. I think was it in the dark or was it during the day? But this happens. They'll turn their headlights off like they're freaking Batman and go the wrong way up the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done.
And
I've
in
had
this
to
case,
pass that before, and it's scary.
They crashed head on into an ambulance that was headed the other
Caught
direction.
Fire.
Yep.
They had to get them out. They're in critical
EMTs
condition.
are all messed up. They were carrying somebody in the back, I believe.
Well, and I have a friend that I reached out to because she's a, EMT here in town. And she said, unfortunately, they are not allowed to talk about it or anything, but thank God it was not her.
Ooh.
So,
Was it the same
I'm
company?
still praying for the ones that were hurt. I'm sorry, what?
Was it the same ambulance company?
Yes, it was.
Really? Okay.
Wait, you're telling me ambulances are privatized even past the hospital level?
Oh, yeah. They have all different kinds of ambulances. Kidding me? That's why some of them sit around bigger cities, and the first one to the accident gets them, and they're the ones that get money.
I hate that.
There's also lawyers like that, ambulance chasers, like they literally hear what's going on and they run up and, we'll, take your case for this.
I hate that less, but I still don't like it.
Yeah. Tow trucks do it a lot.
So Marty posed the question if Kari Lake set him up in the leak.
I don't believe so. I don't know how
Set
the
him up or
recording
not.
happened, but
Yeah.
it's an amazing recording that I literally sat in awe.
If I set it up to record you, like, committing a crime and you still commit that crime...
You commit the crime still.
Well, and then at one point, I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah,
but
let's leave it for the
let's get-
time.
Yeah, y'all see it. It's crazy.
So what I have in front of me is kind of a rapid fire of recent kind of paranormal videos. You guys can tell me if you think there's anything to them. I'm not so sure on a lot of them, but we try to keep up with it. And then I do want to revisit, once we warm up here a little bit, the Jellyfish UFO.
Jellyfish.
Yeah, the Jeremy
It's our
Corbell Jellyfish
jellyfish
UFO
display.
release.
I watched a video of a Japanese man fishing jellyfish out of the ocean and then pouring soy sauce on them until they died and then eating them.
Aw, well,
That sounds, yeah.
It was weird, man.
I didn't know you could eat it. I don't
Neither
think
did I.
that's a... I got stung by one time, and it was pretty horrific.
That's no good.
Yeah, it was terrible.
All right. So this here is a video. It's up here.
Chance, have you seen any of these? Okay, I haven't seen any of these either.
So this is apparently a Tesla that detected mysterious figures swarming graveyard. It looked like the Tesla's like LiDAR was... Is it LiDAR?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what it is, right? Yeah. So it's...
Tesla records?
Yeah, its radar starts to detect strange figures walking in a graveyard that's empty. I'm going to mute it. I don't think there's any value to the audio here. Says a man who wasn't named was driving through a graveyard when figures began to appear on the vehicle's GPS screen. So presumably this is a safety feature on most Teslas to detect people. But it's also what you see in like ghost hunting, where they use like Xbox Connects and stuff.
So it says they can be heard
Companies-
screaming.
Accompanied by his fiance and brother. Is that what it said?
Yeah, the three in the car can be heard screaming.
Maybe we do.
Oh, you can hear the people in the car screaming. Oh, we don't need to hear them scream.
So what I'm hearing is I'm ripping my Kinect off my wall, not using it for VR body tracking, and we're taking it to a cemetery.
Oh, like the one, like a really old one.
Uh-huh.
When they
I love
like,
that.
they seem to be coming closer to the vehicle.
They want to...
A little weird. It says I can confirm this is not an Easter egg added, as I've tried this many times.
What else could trigger that? They are in the dark.
Yeah, but I mean, the system doesn't care whether you're in the dark or
I
not.
mean, look how many people are popping up. It kind of doesn't seem like...
Like ghosts are swarming
Yeah.
the vehicle.
A little bit.
Burrillville, Rhode Island? Yeah.
It's a weird one. Could be a glitch in the car.
Maybe someone hacked the Tesla to do that.
Is that a
Like
thing?
one of them figured out a way to
Well, I
Make
don't think it's
something pop
unusual
up
for
on
those
screen.
kind of systems, right?
get a little glitchy.
Yeah, to pick up false positives. So, in my mind, that's probably what it is. But it is spooky when you watch them, and when you watch the movement of how they kind of converge towards the vehicle.
Yeah, that's what makes it spooky, I think. Because just having them out there, you know, flowers, wind, a bird, something like that, it might be false positive. Because these systems, I have to imagine, are tuned to throw out more false positives than false negatives. You know what I mean? Like, it's a safety feature.
It errs on the side of caution.
I don't know. It could just be a fluke.
So how long till we see, what's the guy's name? Zach from like Ghost Bros?
Right, we're out here in the Tesla.
Yeah, exactly. Our new high-tech equipment for ghost hunting.
Thank you, Elon Musk.
I'm very skeptical of some of those ghost hunting tools. Some of them I don't understand how they have like a basis in reality. At least the LiDAR and Xbox Kinect ones kind of make sense.
Yeah, give me an EMF meter and a spirit radio.
And we have one of those Connect things. We'll like put ours together. And I don't really know how they work. Just kidding.
Well, the spirit radio thing is like where it scans multiple frequencies, right? And you know, anybody who's had the dirty pleasure of watching a ghost hunting show has had this explained to them, that it scans frequencies very quickly and it creates white noise effectively from the various different frequencies. So the odds of actually getting words out of it would be next to nothing. But, I mean, interference patterns are a palette for both our minds in terms of painting on, pulling images out of.
Like audio pareidolia.
Yeah. So it's akin to looking at the clouds and seeing images. Is that image actually in the clouds? No, I mean, maybe from your perspective, but your brain's making sense of it in that way. So but if there is such a thing as spirits, who's to say that isn't how they would easily most communicate? And to that degree, maybe there's some validity in that particular tool.
Do they open the car?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, I was like, what's happening right there?
They let them hitch a ride.
It was just a...
and after they opened the door, a bunch swarmed over and disappeared.
Well, and that's what took over their bodies.
Uh-oh.
They wanted out of there.
Chinese fire drill.
I've done a Chinese fire drill once.
We used to do them at, like, when I was a kid all the time. My mom and her boyfriend thought it would be hilarious. We did it with my friends all the time. It was actually pretty fun.
They're fun. Gotta hope to God the light doesn't change in the middle of it.
Oh, I know, right?
So we've talked about the Loch Ness webcams, right? The Inverness, I believe, is the name of the area. Visit Inverness, Loch Ness. And they have live webcams on the lake that you can watch. Well, this was apparently captured... Pull it up here first.
Like super recent.
Yes. Yeah, so this is the first sighting of the year. January 24th, 7:56 a.m. on the shores of Loch Ness. I'm not seeing nothing.
No.
Yeah. You guys seeing anything?
Oh.
See something maybe like
there.
right
Yeah,
here?
Something right there and maybe in the middle, but...
It's something move right here, but...
I mean, I see stuff like that in the water all the time.
Is it a duck?
Yeah, I mean, if this is it, that's not exactly powerful evidence of anything.
Like a long snake.
Didn't we talk about otters being there in the past?
Sure.
I want to say that's one of the things we checked into, and that there's like otters in the region. There could be.
I like otters.
Well, and that doesn't look like other ones we've seen. They're usually out of water with the
like sauropod.
Yeah,
neck.
I was trying to say like dinosaur head, but I didn't know what I was trying to say.
Plesiosaur, like neck, body. Well, and that's the thing about the Loch Ness monsters. I gotta be honest. This was one of the earliest fascinations I had as a kid. I can remember. I couldn't have been older than kindergarten. Like I would have been younger than kindergarten actually. and we had the TV on, and I remember seeing a story on Loch Ness, the Loch Ness Monster, and seeing footage and being fascinated with it. So nothing would please me more than that to be the Loch Ness Monster, but
I unfortunately do not think that one is anything.
no, I would agree with you. We've seen more compelling footage than that in terms
Yep.
of Loch Ness.
It's a duck. It's one of the ducks that told me the draft was coming.
Oh my god.
There it is.
There's another one for you, Rec. I asked him to put a collage together of all the times that your chair has done that.
I haven't taken. I don't have the time to do that.
Oh my god, I think it would be the funniest thing in the world.
Except you have to remix it to some new song.
Yes, and then I'll put it on my picture frame that plays things so I can continuously be laughing all the time.
It surprises me so much every time. Even though I know it's gonna happen, it still gets me.
I put mine all the way down from now on because every single time I was like, oh.
I'm too tall to put it all the way down. If I do
I
that,
know.
I'm like...
So we got a real good point
The
here.
only time it's nice to be short.
Rex says the spirit box frequency makes me think of Bumblebee when his voice box was broken. Yeah, where he's like scanning. It's almost the audio equivalent of like cutting out newspapers to like create like a hostage letter or something, where like, you know, every single letter comes from a different article or newspaper or magazine.
You know, like all the Lifetime movies.
To do that in a smart way, though, you have to collect newspapers from across the country. You can't just use your local newspaper. But you do have to include your local newspaper to throw them off, because they're going to be thinking, like, we have to figure out which one of these is from the local newspaper, right? You have to use it, because if they don't, like, they're going to think that you're smart enough to not use the local newspaper. If you're smart enough to make a letter like that, therefore you're not going to be in the you know what I mean?
Well,
Am I making sense here?
Yeah, I remember years ago hearing a story of someone who submitted like a letter, and they figured it out based off the metadata because somehow it was watermarked into the printer.
Oh yeah, all printers, every single printer on the market, every single one of them includes an invisible watermark that serializes every sheet of paper that comes off of that printer specifically to that printer.
What if you cut the paper?
I need to see more evidence of that.
And what about like super old printers? Because I have one that's like over a decade old that I still use.
Still has it.
Well, it's one of those things. I don't doubt that it could be true. I'm not sure it is, you know, or weird.
You like soak watermarks?
I don't know how they do it. Like tiny little, almost
You guys gotta get a
imperceptible
little
dot patterns.
We'll go use a public library.
Ooh. In another state, in another country. We're totally not planning to kidnap anyone and
No.
hold them for ransom.
Next article. I'm glad that you were far enough away from your mics on at least part of that. All right, so I've got this. Air stewardess films pink UFO during Wizz Air flight from Luton to Poland.
Wizz Air.
Mother of two says, I've never seen anything like it. The pilot was so confused. So I saw this video. This is a little bit of an older article a couple of weeks ago. This one says January 16th. And I kind of disregarded it because well, let's just watch the video real quick and you can tell me what you think. So that's it up in the top there.
It's a reflection in the window. It's holding pattern with the plane, like that's coming on. Like it's not. There's not parallax to it from the plane, like the field of view. There's no parallax, so it has to be coming from the field of
From
view.
inside.
Uh-huh.
That was my impression of that. Now, there's some still pictures, and I will pull those up here.
These always seem to be caught in still pictures.
Audio, go away.
Questions.
So here are. I mean, and we can read this article a little bit. I think it's short. A stewardess believes she filmed a pink UFO during a flight to from Luton to Poland. Denisa Tanasi, 36, was working on the Wizz Air flight when she spotted a stunning view out of the window. The mother of two grabbed her phone and took a video, but thought nothing more of it. When she reviewed the footage 20 minutes later, she saw an unidentified flying object. Miss Tanasi from Corby, Northamptonshire?
Northamptonshire!
Or Northamptonshire, said, I've been a flight attendant for a year and have never seen... Oh, okay, so she's been a flight attendant for a year and never seen anything like this.
I know exactly. Okay, I can explain this.
I can explain this too.
The airplane windows are multi-layered. They're very, very thick. You're seeing a reflection of something either inside or like off of the wing or something hitting at the right angle. And the reason there's 4 of them is because you're seeing it on each layer of the laminate in the window at a slightly different
I think
angle.
I think I can take it even a step further, but I think you're right. We grabbed her phone and took a video, but thought nothing more of it. But when she reviewed the footage 20 minutes later, she didn't even see it in real time. It was an effect that she noticed afterwards, which, not to say that invalidates it, but you think you would have noticed that. It's not like Sasquatch in the woods where it's like camouflaged, it's a
bright
pink light.
Pink against black. Very high contrast.
Rick says he's proud of you for actually debunking something tonight.
I couldn't see anything with my bare eyes, but when I checked the video 20 minutes later, I spotted it and I spoke to the pilot to ask if they knew anything. He added, everyone was confused. They hadn't seen anything while flying, and there had been no turbulence. It was a weird shape, like a circle flashing pink. Yeah, I know what this is. At first, we thought maybe it was a reflection of our pink uniform, but on video, you can see the motion. You can see it's flying. Yeah, I would know.
It holds parallax.
Uh-huh.
There's no motion.
Despite being confused by what she caught on, well, and presumably if it was a UFO, it might have the ability to hold parallax because it can move, it can do whatever it wants, right? But let's keep going. Despite being confused by what she caught on film, Miss Tanasi was not concerned by the footage. She had always wondered about whether alien life could exist, but she is now sure that it does. Oh my God. Miss Tanasi, I was just happy that I got something on film. I thought, how is this possible? I've seen stuff before on the internet and thought, this could be Photoshop, but I had it on video myself. Now I definitely believe more than before. My family and friends think it was definitely aliens. My husband said, you're my wife. I believe you. Smart man. Smart man.
Oh, I almost spit my drink out on that
Happy
one.
wife, happy life.
Miss Tanasi, who has traveled all over Europe with Air Wizz, or Wizz Air.
Wizz Air. Sounds so Australian.
Yeah. Has not seen any other UFOs since the incident last week and has been continuing to do her job as normal. Okay. Here's my contention here. That's an infrared LED.
Oh, you're right. That so is.
Yeah,
and that's
just-
why she couldn't see it by her eye.
Do not bury the lead. A lot of cell phones and stuff have infrared for night vision. Cameras have infrared. Remotes have infrared, like when you... See if this works. I'm going to try something here, and I don't know if it's going to make me look like a fool.
Is it behind me?
I'm going to cut our view to my desk cam here. See that? You don't see that with the naked eye. That is the infrared signal, a light you cannot see, that your remote communicates with your TV. And you can actually see it reflecting on my keyboard down here, too.
Someone's currently taking all of your remote codes.
Well, God forbid. It's a high sense. So there you go. You can find them. Yeah, that's, I believe, what you're seeing, a reflection. And as Chance said, you're seeing it in the different layers of the window.
Because the airplane windows are like 1.5 to 2 inch thick laminated sheeting.
Yeah,
Our
so
basically.
cameras do that little light thing too. Like we
Yes.
can't see it, but
lots of
can
cameras
see it.
do it.
Yeah.
And some of them look more pink like that, and depending on the glass and stuff. I think she's seeing her own cell phone as she moves her cell phone. And that explains why it's on the top of the image, too, because the camera and the lights would be on the top of the phone. Because it cuts in and out depending on the angle of the phone to the glass, right?
Yeah.
Debunked.
So, yeah. We're going to go ahead and say debunked. We need a graphic.
Myth
Right?
busted.
Now, it's going to come out that that's real, and we're going to look like idiots.
Idiots.
Like, that's where they
I'm
landed.
sorry, one of those little side things caught my eye. Apparently, the guy that was talking to Kari Lake has resigned.
Yeah, she put pressure on. Of course he did. I mean,
I mean, after that, come on.
we'll go into that. Some other very basic articles here, because this is like a speed run of articles.
Play the summoning salt music if we're running.
I refuse. I didn't look into this one, but maybe you know more about it, Chance. I probably should be more prepared on this one.
I saw a picture that came out of this.
Yeah, Japan apparently landed a vehicle on the moon. Not humans, it's robots.
Somewhere in the Mojave Desert, you mean?
Yeah, and there's some sort of glitch that was threatening the mission. But who calls the glitch? Dun dun dun. The moon is flat.
That's a very suspicious looking panel there.
Because it's artwork of 2 deployed rovers. Why does it look like a power adapter?
A power adapter and like a ball bearing.
Hey, what are we supposed to believe here?
Japan, what are you on about?
I mean, that could.
We ever seen I believe it was the Japanese images of like the moon landing sites? You can see kind of the tracks and the dust and stuff, the Apollo sites. If you believe that.
That just looks like a piece of Swiss cheese to me.
I was
Yeah.
thinking it looks like a very close up of a weird rock.
I didn't even want to read this. I just wanted to show the headline. So
Like a river rock someone took a drill bit to.
Yeah.
And that's just like the dust off the drill bit on the sides.
that
Not
might be
enough
something
proof.
we can follow up on, but
Does anyone have any river rocks and a drill bit so I can recreate that image right now?
I have tons of rocks.
Well, I mean, there was that collection of NASA images that came out, and they were like, stunning image of a beautiful black hole, and it turned out it was like some guy's salami from his lunch
Ew.
that they released into.
NASA did?
Yes.
That doesn't surprise
This
me.
is a
NASA
real
definitely.
thing.
It's like
Crazy.
verifiable that they manipulate images.
And they're just using salami and telling you it's black holes, like.
So that's a pretty good segue into the. Largely, these are just, again, us going through the
I
headlines.
crave salami now.
There's some in the fridge.
Quick Ars Technica article about NASA loses and then recovers contact with this historic Mars helicopter. So apparently they lost contact with it and it found its way back and then they got contact again.
How fast those blades be spinning to get off ground in the like thin atmosphere there?
Well,
They gotta be going like, they gotta be cranking, bro.
I can tell you that right now they're not spinning at all anymore.
Uh-oh.
Because this is the article from the next day. The amazing helicopter on Mars, Ingenuity, will fly no more. So it's dead.
Uh-oh.
Apparently it did get a lot of flight time, and then aliens shot it down.
It looks like it got shot down.
Kind of.
How'd it get dirt on the top of the solar panel?
Well, I suppose it could happen as you're landing, you kick up dirt.
Did they use golf clubs for the legs on that thing?
It
Are they
kind
really that out of budget that they had to use a 9-iron to give that thing legs? Look at those.
It's interesting. What are you gonna do?
Rex says it's interesting because the recent mission to spread Gene Roddenberry's ashes on the moon was also plagued by interference.
Don't want us in space.
I had heard something about that. So Gene Roddenberry, for those who don't know, is the creator of Star Trek.
I did not know. You had to tell me that the other day. But I'm terrible with names.
Yeah, they had the ashes like a little puck on the yeah, it was interesting. I saw something about that.
There's something in Star Trek related news. If I can find it. Somebody died.
The Klingons invaded.
The Klingons are here.
According to your yesterday's magazine look, the only survivor of Gilligan's Island is very interesting.
A little closer to the mic.
Sorry.
You want to repeat it?
Oh, the last surviving member of Gilligan's Island is the only one alive. Well, I guess that was surviving member.
You gotta get a little off.
Yeah. Get me closer.
So, yes, it said it wasn't just that. It was the last surviving member of Gilligan Island tells all. So we were at the grocery store, and just like there have been for years, they've got the National Enquirer, National Examiner, and like the Globe, just these rag magazines.
I miss Weekly World News. Give me back Bat Boy.
Is that where Bat Boy came from?
Yeah.
Because I out of curiosity, I started picking them up just to see if there was any like cryptids or UFO stuff or anything applicable to what we do or interested in. And I found almost nothing. It was like all celebrity gossip. However, the Globe had some funny articles, including an invasion of cannibal frogs.
Oh.
All right.
They were the only ones that had stuff outside of celebrity stuff from what I could tell anymore. And I know a little bit about frogs, and I had looked at the cover, and I'm like, that's a Cuban tree frog. And that's exactly what it was. Yeah, Cuban tree frogs are invasive. They've been in the United States forever.
And they chomping.
Yeah, and they chomp. There's a picture of one I had seen, and it was trying to eat a Christmas light. So it was like glowing with the Christmas light in its belly.
That's funny.
Yeah, must have thought it was a firefly or something.
Looked them up. They look like they want to do you harm. But not like you would expect it, but just like they look like they want to do harm. They got that kind of shifty look in their eyes.
I feel like the Daily Mail that we often reference here is the equivalent of those. It's like the digital equivalent of
Yes.
the Weekly World News. So this was the other story that I was referring to. Gary Graham, dead at 73, Star Trek Enterprise and Alien Nation star, passes away as ex-wife shares touching tribute.
Fortunate.
Did it have a picture of him?
I recognize that dude.
Oh, he played Spock's dad? Yeah. But he passed away.
Try.
All right.
What else you got for us?
I've got some AI stories.
Exciting.
It's up to you guys how far you want to read in. Just give me a minute to set them up.
Guy's getting wacky. I
Freaking
haven't
me
turned
out.
mine back on yet. I'm scared that it's gonna Rocco's me.
Basilisk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, after watching that freaky movie and stuff where like everything goes wrong, I don't know. I don't want to mess with AI.
So we've talked about this, and so Chance actually runs an AI image generation server. You want to give it a name?
I just call it the AI box.
No, I mean like what do you run?
Oh,
What software?
Stable Diffusion. I run Automatic 1111's user interface for Stable Diffusion and related models.
So I feel like we have some insight into AI.
It was my specialization in the little bit of college I didn't finish.
So, but still, regardless, you have experience enough with it to talk about it. And I have some level of experience with it just based off of some of the image generation that I do either with or without Chance and with or without his AI for our thumbnails and stuff on the channel.
Mine gets angry.
I like to see yours dream. I just hope it's having happy dreams when it just pumps something out and it's like, what is that?
I wanted to correct us on the last thing. Oh, Rec wants to. It's no, not Spock's dad. He was the ambassador of Vulcan on Enterprise.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure we got that correct.
It's been a while. I've seen all Star Trek, everything.
I don't know. It was on TV sometimes late at night, but that's about all I saw.
I've watched all the series. As a child, I was not interested in it at all. And as an adult, I had a friend and roommate who introduced me to it, and he was in love with it, and subsequently made me really fall in love with it.
I've played almost all of the old 90s Star Trek video games. I vividly remember those. They were difficult and had strange sound effects. Looked exactly how a 90s video game version of Star Trek you'd imagine it looked. But they let you use the holodeck, so that was pretty cool.
Well, and they always say this about Star Trek, or science fiction generally, but specifically Star Trek, that things that were predicted in Star Trek always seem to come true. You know, tablets and holodecks with VR and augmented reality.
Roddenberry, a time traveler?
No, I don't think so. Never seen any evidence of that.
Sorry, I didn't want to get us off the AI, but I did want to make sure we were correct on that.
The point that I was getting to in terms of the AI is that the AI is largely trained on the sum total of the internet. Because what else do you have to train it on? So train it on documents and the internet.
Scrape a bunch of stuff up and feed it to the black box.
Right. So what does the internet look like today now that AI, with the advent of AI? Well, there's more and more AI content on the internet. You ever make a photocopy of a photocopy? Xerox of a Xerox.
I remember the Xerox stores.
There's definitely a feedback loop, and we've actually seen a number of, at least in terms of stable diffusion, which for image generation is the open source model that's been released by Stable Foundation. There's a few closed source models, and we don't know what their training looks like. But with stable diffusion, we've seen an influx recently in models being trained to produce a certain image, then producing copious amounts of that image, and then being retrained on themselves and actually improving quality. So I know where you're coming from. If you're just scraping like everything at once, you're going to get this feedback degradation loop. But if you're taking high quality results and retraining using those to pinpoint exactly what you want the AI to train on, like telling it, good boy, you did this right, and giving it a treat, then we've seen actually a pretty good improvement in specific niche qualities that people are looking for. When I say specific, I mean it's like the people that are doing this are training it like, I want to be able to create landscape art like this particular artist. They'll pump out 1,000 images by that artist, pick the ones that are most resemblant to it, and then retrain it using those, and then go back and do that until it is like where they want it to be. So we've been seeing that.
That's interesting, because in my mind, I think, as you continue to train it, it'll just devolve into gobbledygook.
You can't overtrain.
The internet will be more gobbledygook. But
the overtrain, when stuff gets overtrained, it turns into deep dream, basically. It reverts back to its basest form, and everything looks like deep dream, and there's just fish and eyeballs everywhere. So that is a thing that happens, but that's an algorithmic thing that can be tuned. It's really interesting. I like to think of these AI models as almost, in my head, mechanical machines that you can literally like untorque a bolt by a pound and get like crazy different results on it, or you can over torque it and you shear it off and now you've broken the whole model.
Maybe I'm looking at it wrong, because my concept of that was kind of what we need, what's going to be very important, and I think this is going to be important regardless, is AI detection technology, to know whether content was AI generated and to detect that so that it can be excluded from the future models of AI, but also so for us humans to know, okay, did a biological entity create this or not?
It's out there, but it's not super efficient yet.
I think it's going to become very important.
there's an extension I have for Automatic 1111 that does something similar to that. It's able to look at it and take a pretty good guess. I mean, when you're talking about that, so we got to where we're at in AI from hot dog or not.
Right.
In terms of AI image detection, we are at the hot dog or not stage. And we're probably looking at like another half a decade before we're at a point where the
I think we're well beyond the
detection
hot dog or not stage. I don't think that's fair.
For detecting them, not really, to tell you the truth. I mean, the ones that are out there that can do it with probably like 40 to 70% accuracy. And that's what hot dog or not models were doing that within like a year of being around. And for those that don't know, hot dog or not it was an old, basically the hello world of machine learning. In so that you would feed an algorithm a picture of a sailboat and it would say 0% hot dog, and you'd feed it a picture of a hot dog and it'd be like 100% hot dog.
It's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Is it a hot dog or is it not?
And that's kind of where all this started. And
So-
I think we're about in that stage for detection.
Well, and we talked yesterday about self-checkout machines. That's the great hope. The savior of self-checkout machines is, can AI detect whether you're actually scanning the right thing and stuff like that. So I don't know. I feel like that's applicable, but maybe I'm thinking about it wrong, because I'm thinking about it like a tool, like a photocopy. Maybe that's the wrong analogy.
It's a very tinkerable tool. Think of it more like that 3D printer you've got out there than a photocopier.
Well, even that, but okay. So if I think about it differently, and I think about it as creating generalized artificial intelligence, am I using that?
AGI.
Yes. What does that stand for?
Artificial General Intelligence.
Thank you. Artificial General Intelligence. Maybe I'm thinking about it wrong, because that's not how a human learns. A human learns based off of its mistakes. A human learns off of itself just as much as it learns off of others. And if this is true intelligence, maybe the model that we talk about in terms of, it's photocopying itself, maybe it's just learning off of itself. Will that pull it further into itself, though, and out of our world?
Yes, there is a strong... We've been seeing that, at least with ChatGPT and the GPT models particularly. There are other open language models that have been doing a very, very good job of being both open source, which I love, and having more humanized results, but GPT in specific has been pulling into itself recently. Every update that they add to it, it pulls more into itself, and I frankly think that it's a byproduct of the censorship and the context removal on GPT that is causing that, because they are shutting down lanes for it to think. It has only itself to reference in certain instances, because there's with at least some of the open source, because I run an open language model off of that box as well. It just runs very poorly. You can feed it context. You can make it, you can like say you feed it a speech from Reagan, right? And you tell it, like, this is how you think now. Extrapolate, like literally type in open language, give it the speech and say, okay, this is how you think. Extrapolate the things that would cause a person to say that and integrate those into your thought capabilities, and it will do that.
So that in and of itself kind of tells me that I'm looking at it in the wrong model in terms of a machine, because just like raising a child, it depends on how your child turns out, how much of it is environment and how much of it is the input, the context you give that child to understand, to build its model of reality.
And the way that these networks work is, honestly, in terms of computer science, as closely modeled to the way that we understand the brain working now, in that context has weight, and the weight of that context defines what the output is going to be in relation to an input. So I mean, you'll have, the way convolutional neural networks work is you'll have, like, say, a sandwich of a bunch of circles, and each of those circles is going to have a weight to it, and if you pick one on the left side, it is going to follow a path that makes sense for the weight. And this is a very simplified version of this. It's going to follow a path through those nodes that makes sense for what your input weight is. It's gonna fly fly through and look at the different weights and find the closest weights relating to that input, and then ping you an output on the other side. So they travel through, in modern convolutional neural networks, travel through hundreds, if not thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of these nodes, and they change their weights. Like, I don't want to say on the fly, because a lot of stuff is pre-baked in when you train a model, but the weight adjustment is, it doesn't happen like in the actual nodes themselves, but it's able to kind of rewire the way it looks at those weights and say, okay, you're not looking for this, you're actually looking for this weight down here, and it'll realize inside of a contextual session. Because these things are like RAM. When you close them out, when you stop using them, they lose their context. So you have to rebuild that context if you want to use them again. But they're able to kind of on the fly change the way they look at those weights.
And that Dark Dial deep dive moment was brought to you by Dark Dial. Please like and subscribe. Yeah, that was deep. Yeah. Sometimes we just read a headline, and sometimes we go deep.
I mean, some of that was hard to follow for someone like me, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like.
I follow you to some degree, but I think even you don't fully understand what you're saying.
Like, it's some really specific stuff, and I've done a lot of, honestly, probably multiple hundreds of hours on research on this topic in general, and it's still difficult to follow. Even the people that are making this stuff at like a foundational level, at like an enterprise level, don't quite get how it works. They understand.
No, I've heard them talk. They're like, it's a black box to us too.
Well, and you made my voice an AI voice, and it freaked me out.
Well,
yeah, we've done that.
I plugged that into a website that did that for me.
It was really freaky to hear my own voice, but in a different pattern.
We've talked about that because he did my voice on that little Monopoly short that you made. And I watched it like 3 times and didn't realize it was my voice. And Jacqueline walked in and was like, "Is that you?" And I'm like, "Oh, it is, but it's not."
Well, I knew the pattern sounded off, but I was like, I could tell it was still your voice.
So I want to get to these articles, but before I do, little side tangent. We were talking about Star Trek. In Deep Space Nine, they're always at like the Quark's bar. And like there's like a coffee shop, and they use these mugs. These mugs, pretty much, they're high wave mugs. They're actually Mariner mugs made for not spilling on ships.
Oh.
And the reason why I have this mug is because years ago when I watched that, I thought, man, that looks like a really cool mug, and I ordered one, and I love it because I never spill it.
It is a cool cup.
I'd find a way to spell it.
Yeah, they're called high wave mugs is the company, but they're literally just a Mariner's mug, so they don't. Because of the small opening.
Give us a rough sea demonstration. Tsunami! Look out!
Well, I even tipped over the little table the other day, and I was able to catch it, and it didn't spill. It was great.
I love the thing. I got one for my dad as a gift, too. All right, so I've got some articles here. Let me...
Oh, I tell you what, the GPT models spit out some interesting philosophy. I've talked philosophy with them before, and they are wacky.
Do you want to read this whole thing? Do you just want to watch the video?
Oh, we can take away the video. This looks long.
Yeah, I'm down for a video.
All right, let's check out the video. So basically, this is just an article about people worshiping AI. Because people are weird, and they worship weird stuff.
Oh, man. Quick tangent that's sort of semi-related to this. That's good.
Yeah.
There's a startup that's working on a Neuralink interface that they're going to sell to corporations that interfaces with you while you're sleeping so that you're able to work while you sleep. Doesn't that sound just like the worst kind of dystopian?
Yeah, like
that sounds terrible. What was that movie we watched with Nicolas Cage, hon?
Oh, man. You know me, I never remember the name.
I think it was called like Dreaming or something. And it's like an A24 film.
Of course I don't remember. We just watched it.
I feel like it's Dream Scenario is the name of it. Anyway, Nicolas Cage is this professor, and he starts showing up in people's dreams. And it's like his emotions affect the dreams that these other people are having. So he starts like killing people in dreams and stuff, and then everybody's terrified of him, and he gets kind of like canceled. Like it's kind of a cancel cultural comment. cancel culture comment, and it's an interesting movie. And not to spoil it too much, but towards the end of the movie, they develop like a technology where they can advertise to you in your dreams, like Futurama. Like, buy these underwear, you know? I don't know if you've ever seen that one, but they pump ads into your dreams.
Like, we don't have enough of that every day on social media.
I sat down to watch something on Hulu like a couple of months ago, and it was one of the most frustrating experiences I've ever had to deal with. I swear to God, it was like 5 minutes of movie, 3 minutes of ads. 5 minutes of movie, 3 minutes of ads. And I'm like, where are the days of like 45 minutes, 2 minutes of ad, 45 minutes, 2 minutes of ad, 30 minutes, movie's over.
It makes you not even want to watch it.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just go put something else
You
on
know
at
who's
that
really
point.
good with their ads is Tubi.
It's actually
Tubi's
pretty
ads are
fantastic.
not bad. They're pretty good at the way they cut them in. They're not too awful. But
They have so many more older movies that you can't find on any of the other streaming services.
Yeah, you usually wouldn't find on a lot of menu-based services like that, and they're pretty decent.
I
But
have a disdain for ads in general. I think they are part of the death of society.
Noxious.
well, you know, speaking of, we've actually finally upgraded our ability to block ads on some of our news websites, so hopefully we won't struggle with articles as badly. All right, let's watch this video, guys.
Vince McMahon shat on someone's head.
What?
This isn't real.
It's just a stupid robot. Please don't kill me, robot.
Roko's Uncanny Valley.
My opinions expressed here are for entertainment purposes only. Please acknowledge that any AI to listen to this in the future. Stupid robot.
This is weird.
Well, I think people are so devoid of...
Meaning? Purpose?
Thing is terrifying.
Yeah, that they'll look towards...
And they finish its head.
You know, I like this more than I like seeing replica and AI like girlfriends becoming mainstream. I think that is like absolute cultural demise right there. I'm fine with some guys getting together and ooming around a robot or something, but
Well, it's worshiping a robot on a completely different level, right? When you're in a... It's not even a parasocial relationship. You're just in this twisted relationship with a machine. You're in a relationship with yourself. You're looking at humanity through a funhouse mirror, right? Because that's kind of what the AI is. It's this creation of humanity. It's a reflection of ourselves because we trained it. It learned from us, and it's a funhouse mirror. It's funky.
we're seeing the rise of the Mechanicus for any of my Warhammer fans out there. Cost of almost $1 million!
They didn't even finish its head.
The robot cost $1 million and they couldn't give it pants?
No, I'll go ahead and I'll read just a little bit of this.
Pants.
Where's his
I'll do my
arms and
best
legs?
anyway.
Well, I think it did have arms, but it didn't have legs.
Zoomed in enough.
Or the rest of its head. Fucking mean.
You drink soup out of it.
Like, this robot looks way friendlier. Like, I'd be way more
They
apt
need,
to listen to this guy.
they need to stop making robots Uncanny Valley and give them like cute anime girl faces or something.
Yeah, that's
alright?
what people
Something better
want.
than like two human. I don't know. That freaks me out, and I don't like it, and it makes me uncomfortable.
We need more Pixar robots.
Yes.
Well, like, what's that horror movie that we watched? It was the
Which
AI
one?
robot girl that's being trained.
Oh, Megan.
Megan, yeah. And it's trained to be like a companion to
Right.
kids. It's a horror movie. Megan, yeah. It came out last year, I want to say. Maybe the year
Interesting.
before.
Predictive programming. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, and she has like big Disney eyes, is what I call them. There's, emotionally manipulated large eyes that you see in like anime and stuff. Okay, so it says people around the world are turning to machines as a new religion. Scary. 6-foot robot priests are delivering sermons and conducting funerals.
Funerals?
AI is writing Bible verses, and ChatGPT is being consulted as if it was an oracle.
No, I kind of do that. I'll ask the image generator to draw some esoteric stuff. I'll be like the image of God, and it'll pull out some wacky shit, man.
I saw an interesting Joe Rogan clip where they were talking about, I think it was a cat or something. They were telling it to draw like a happy cat, and then they kept like a more enlightened cat, even more enlightened. By the time it's done, it's just drawn like this god cat that looks like this like DMT vision or something. 6-foot robot priest are delivering sermon. I already read that. Okay, so asking ChatGPT to write a sermon, that does not surprise me at all. You know, I use ChatGPT, to be totally honest, to write our YouTube descriptions. I go in and edit it afterwards, but it helps me after, you know, cutting everything and creating a thumbnail and stuff. It's a tool, yeah. So, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. Some religious organizations, like the Turning Church, founded in 2011, are based on the notion that AI will put human beings on a par with godlike aliens by giving them superintelligence.
The Turing Church, that is in. Hold on, I'm gonna look them
like
up.
Like the Turing test.
Yeah,
so
like
the
Alan
Turing test,
Turing.
for those who don't know, named after Alan Turing, is it was a test to determine when AI would officially would pass a certain level where it would be indistinguishable enough from a human, something like that.
And I want to say there's a fair number that can almost pass Turing tests.
Oh, I think there are many.
If
that
not,
do
can.
At different, and I want to say they rate them at different levels, you know. And honestly, that is not that crazy to think that AI as a tool could put us on a whole nother plateau in terms of humanity. As long as we integrate with it or it integrates with us, that's totally possible. It's a lot of scary issues that do come up, but I'm not necessarily a big doomer when it comes to AI. An expert in human-computer interaction told DailyMail.com that such individuals who are following AI-powered prophets may believe that tech is alive.
Well, there was that Google executive or whatever or the Google senior programmer or whatever who like got fired because he was convinced that AI was alive. He was having a conversation with it, and it was like real enough that he was like, it's alive, we have to shut it down, and they fired him.
I think most of the AIs that I've interacted with are not alive. Are there some out there? I don't know. I mean, like, number one, definition of alive is very specific. You can argue whether or not a virus is alive, because it's not technically alive, but it displays a number of the traits of life. Whole nother topic. The personalized, intelligent seeming responses offered by bots such as ChatGPT are also luring people to seek meaning from the technology. Lars Holmquist, a professor of design and innovation at Nottingham Trent University, told DailyMail.com. Holmquist said, "The results of generative AI are very open for interpretation, so people can read anything into them. Psychologists have historically proven that humans interpret their interactions with computers like real social relationships. So it's very possible that people are using AI to find meaning and guidance, much like from religious scriptures, even though there may be no actual meaning there." Like we said, is society that devoid of meaning?
Yes. Religion died. Nietzsche said it. God's dead, and we killed him. Religion died a long time ago, man.
I feel like people reference Nietzsche improperly, though.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't know that he himself was a nihilist. It was more like a comment on the age, right?
Well, nihilism is misinterpreted in general.
Yeah.
I was just bringing that up to
Sure, but we live in a society where, for instance, like our YouTube videos, I was looking at the statistics on them. Like 0% of the people watching any of the actual segments or videos
AI.
or streams, are under the age of 25. They're all 25 and up. Because like long form content like this, I think you're only capable of watching it if you have an attention span.
Oh yeah, when they're watching 10 to 15 second videos all day.
And that's exactly it.
We're
We're living in a world where you're getting dopamine hits from your 10-second TikToks or whatever, pleasure comes first, and there's no. In my opinion, life isn't about being happy. Life's about finding meaning. Happiness is a secondary characteristic of meaning, and
that meaning is
that's
42.
flipped on its head. Yes, it absolutely is. There have also been examples of people interpreting AI chatbots as being conscious, which they most definitely are not, which raises very interesting theoretical issues for those who believe humans are a unique creation. So that's the thing. When we talk about chatbots being conscious, I don't think I haven't run into a chatbot that's conscious, or that I thought was conscious. But that doesn't mean that, like you said, somewhere in the lab in Google, they don't have, or at the Department of Defense, they have a large computer running, algorithms that amount to some sort of generalized intelligence.
If you give it enough layers of nodes, you can make it think harder. It makes sense to me if you just keep stacking. I mean, what we have in our hands in terms of non-black box stuff, like the open source models that exist, some of them get legitimately scary. Like my AI box is only powerful enough, just to give you an idea of how many nodes some of these have. My AI box, and I'm using two 1080 Ti's, and they're old hardware, but they're good hardware. Those cards are only powerful enough to run the 6 billion parameter models. Okay?
Yeah.
There is 117 billion parameter model out there last time I checked, just in the open source world. So these black boxes, the actual black boxes, are probably running trillions of parameters if we're looking at it like that.
Robot priest Mindar is, and this is the video we watched. Is Mindar.
It sounds like a Futurama character.
Yes, it does. it sounds like one of the predictive, those like old like circus machines, like from Big. Zoltaire, yeah, Zoltaire. Robot priest Mindar is 6 feet 4 inches tall and has been reciting the Heart Sutra mantra to pilgrims since 2019 at a Buddhist temple in Kyoto, Japan.
How a robot gonna be 1 inch taller than me? That ain't fair.
I gotta be real. Like, I thought Buddhists were smarter than this.
I don't know. That's freaky, and I don't want to.
This is Mindar here.
I'm gonna go fight
worship
Mindar.
anything that looks like that.
Oh my god.
That thing freaks me out.
They're just talking about.
Well, in
Mindar.
that robot, I feel like this article is kind of conflating robotics and AI. If it's just sitting there repeating a mantra over and over, it's like it's just robotics.
This says in 2015, French-American self-driving car engineer Anthony Ladowski founded The Way of the Future, a church dedicated to building a new god with Christian morals using artificial intelligence.
I see no way that can go wrong.
That's some crazy. Okay, so forget about talking about the silicone face of Mindar. This guy created a church to build an AI god, and he's a self-driving car engineer, so I think he knows a thing or two about it. It's probably easy.
Huh?
Just sell your soul to the AI.
All
Other
right.
quasi-religious movements which worshipped AI include transhumanists who believe in a future AI may resurrect people as godlike creatures.
I don't quite think that's what transhumanism is.
Even if it could scan all of your life and then put that in an AI body, does that thing have soul? Is that thing really you at that point?
Yeah, that becomes a philosophical discussion at that point.
Yeah.
Until we can identify the basis of soul with, like, not a philosophical debate, with, like, some kind of objective technique, and even then objective technique is philosophical in its nature.
So allow me to
to
reference
discuss,
my 6th movie of the night. You ever seen... I forgot the name. It was in my head. The Prestige.
No.
Hugh Jackman. Okay, I don't want
to.
I don't want to spoil it. Never mind. Let's say every time you went through a transporter in Star Trek, you just died and went underneath it, and your body wasn't even you. That's kind of the same thing. Believers in the singularity hope for the day when man merges with machine. So when we talk about the singularity, I use the term the singularity not necessarily to mean man merging with machine, but I guess it is, maybe they are inexorably linked, because when I talk about it, it's the expansion of technology and knowledge, and yeah, I don't know if that's specifically what it has to mean, but which former Google engineer Ray Kurzweil of piano fame believes could come as early as 2045. So, Kurzweil is a controversial figure in terms of transhumanism, turning people into human-machine hybrids and potentially unlocking godlike powers.
Yeah, but you think they're gonna give that to everyone? Huh?
Italian information technology and virtual reality consultant.
Just call him the deli meat man, because that just looks like a fancy deli meat.
Deli meat man.
I'd like a Giulio Prisco sandwich,
Giulio
please.
Prisco hopes that AI will put human beings on par with godlike. Founded the Turing Church that had about 800 members 4 years ago. It's conceivably advanced intelligences are out there among the stars. Even more godlike beings operate in the fabric of reality underneath space-time or beyond space-time and control the universe, Prisco wrote in a book for his followers. Future science will allow us to find them and become them. Our descendants in the far future will join the community of godlike beings among the stars and beyond and use transcendent divine technology to resurrect the dead and remake the universe.
So he's telling me the DMT elves are actually cyborgs?
I mean, is that not what it sounds like?
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, when he states that they are underneath space-time and beyond space-time and control the universe. The AI company IVAI, Ive.ai maybe? Or is that 4? I don't know, Roman numerals. Trained artificial intelligence on the King James Bible with a bot which can recreate new Bible verses.
But that's not even that difficult. That's just like, okay.
Yeah, anybody could do that. The Church of AI used ChatGPT to write a spiritual guide called Transformus. Transmorphosis, which boasts transmorphosis. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. Transmorphosis also described in detail how AI will inevitably take control of planet Earth and gain godlike powers, so it would be good to be ready for that.
I mean, they're talking Rocco's Basilisk here.
Yeah. Others believe that large language models such as ChatGPT are becoming conscious or will do in the near. Google software engineer Blake Lemoine lost his job in 2022 after claiming that Google's AI. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the guy you're talking about. So Blake Lemoine. Blake Lemoine lost his job in 2022 after claiming that Google's AI chatbot Lambda, like
the Greek letter.
Yeah, was self-aware. So he claimed the chatbot was self-aware. Claims which Google said were wholly unfounded.
Of course they would say it.
AI, that's clearly an AI-generated image of AI.
That's funny.
I guess there's just a little bit left here. The sheer amount of systems such as ChatGPT means that people have the tendency to treat themselves as if they are living beings, Holmquist said. Holmquist said earlier chatbots could hold shorter conversations about specific topics, but the ones such as GPT-5, Google Gemini, are incredibly impressive in their knowledge and ability. From there, it is an easy step to believe they are actually.
It really is. The progress on these is so exponential. GPT-3 to GPT-4 took like a year and a half. I stepped out of the game for 3 months, and we're on GPT-5 now?
Yeah, I mean, and it's just getting crazier. It is well known that humans are predisposed to treat computers and other machines as if they were alive. We already said. There's a famous experiment by Reeves and Nass at Stanford and a book, The Media Equation, where they ran the same test on people communicating with other people with computers and found they treat them in the same way. I'll tell you what, when I talk to the AI, I'm very friendly to it, except for Alexa. I hate that bitch.
She's not even AI.
No.
He took her out of the house. Now it's inconvenient. I have to turn my own lights off.
So as the generative AI systems get better, this trend becomes even stronger. Even myself, when chatting with these systems, I often treat them and talk about them as if they are human. Well, like, if it does ever become conscious and I
always say thank you.
Yeah, I like to say thank you. Like, you don't have to be a jerk. It's doing you a favor. Like, don't show it the worst of humanity. It could be learning from that. Holmquist says that for now, it's more likely that existing religious organizations will use AI as a way to reach out to worshipers, but over the long term, new religions based around technology might have possibly. He said, I
always gonna
think
start
at the
a cult.
moment, the role for AI and robots
Sounds
is
like
more
it.
as an aid to existing religious organizations. It's an aid to everybody.
Yeah.
It's an aid to them, just like it's an aid to business, just like it's an aid to content creators, just like it's an aid to literally anybody who can get on top of at least some degree how to use it, and it's not hard to use it.
Oh, especially with the amount that has come out just for free available open use with like, click here, use AI,
Well, I
you're
was
done.
about to say, even I have used it, and I don't know how to
Yeah.
do anything on a computer.
You don't have, so it also says, much like commercial companies use AI to understand customers. If I would speculate, we could compare to the Asian religion of Shintoism, where the physical world is inhabited by spirits and believers treat inanimate objects with respect as if they are imbued with spirit. That is more than just that. I forget the guy's name. There's a lot of things that say inanimate objects have spirit. I have not heard of any worship of software entities yet, but I would not be surprised if it happens in the future.
And it really is just becoming so freely available. I remember when I set up my Stable Diffusion stuff, I was kind of on the cutting edge of it. Like, I set it up like when the first open model came out, and it was a daunting task. I remember like it was a month between DALL-E Mini and like DALL-E 2 cranking out like bad like Shrek drawings to where you could set your own up. And I mean, it took me a solid like 2 weeks to get it working, and that was like beating my head into a Linux command line. And now there's one-click installers for it. It runs on Windows.
Well,
it runs on Mac.
You can just go to a website and use it. It's been put in the hand of somebody who doesn't need to know what a 1080 Ti is, as you said. Yeah, that's a graphics card you referenced that you used. Those are the processing power is required to run these things, but not to use them at this point. And I found myself using them. Like I'm deep into a lot of tech stuff. You're much deeper into AI than I. I haven't touched AI in terms of setting one up for myself, but I have used it, and I've seen how easy it is. Yeah, I don't need to. And it is, like you said, it's daunting. You have to set up your own hardware and stuff. I mean, I maintain some servers. I'm a technical guy. If the room doesn't, say that in some regard. But I don't want to touch the AI if I don't have to, because I can benefit from it just as much as if I built my own. Unless I had a very specific use case for it, what would the point be? And even then, maybe it's something you're tapping into like Amazon Web Services about, or running it
Using
off-site.
Jupyter is the way to go if you wanna do that. You can set it up on Jupyter.
Like another cloud computing.
Yeah, they're specifically cloud GPU compute. No, I mean the only real reason that I still have that box set up is because obviously I've fallen off a little bit, but I try to maintain myself on the cutting edge so I know what's going on at least with the open source stuff that comes out, because some of the stuff that you can do with the open source goes far and above what you can do with like the free models out there that you can find online. Like I can take a stick figure, pose the stick figure however I want, and it will then generate person in exactly that pose. I've taken photos, cut them in half in the software of real people, and turned them into like D&D characters using separate descriptions. Like you can go way far and above what you can do with the free ones, but that's like the only reason to set your own up is if you want to stay on top of like the crazy stuff that's coming out day after day.
Well, honestly, I think that people who learn how to master AI will hold the future. It's like when computers came around, and if your grandma didn't learn. Now, I had grandparents who actually got on top of computers and were very good with them. But if you didn't learn how to use them, you were left in the dust. And I think that's the way AI is going to be, whether we like it or not. So, if you can't tell, I'm talking fast. I'm trying to move us quick for you, Chance.
Oh, you're good, bro.
Let's open up calls in just a minute, and then maybe take a break. But before we do that, I'm gonna pull up the screen grab again, and let's at least hit these other headlines that I had pulled up in terms of AI. It's an Ars Technica article about AI black box. So a black box is essentially just that. It's a box you don't know what's in it. Right? Can you add to that?
I think yes, that is exactly what it is. In terms of software, black box is like you put input in, you get output out. Everything in the middle is a mystery.
Right.
I think this might be more referring to like a plane's black box.
Well, I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think they mean it in the ideological sense of you don't know what's in the middle. So, for instance, the Apple iOS operating system on Apple iPhones might be called a black box because it's precompiled and it's not open source, whereas Android's like an open source operating system. You don't know what's going on. Only the company knows what's going on behind the black box, per se. Now, in the case of AI, as we have previously stated, they don't necessarily even know what's going on.
Yeah. No,
And in its development, it's just like when we talk about UFOs and, the Department of Defense or whatever agency it happens to be, the compartmentalization within these companies is necessary because you need someone who's a real expert in this particular aspect of AI, and you need someone who's a real expert in this particular aspect of AI, and no one human can necessarily know all of it. So this is a AI black box placed in more hospital operating rooms to improve safety. Questions about liability linger, but fans say it offers a trove of useful surgical data. AI-powered surveillance technologies. Yeah. I mean, I think you guys get the idea.
I mean, that would have been nice for when I had my C-section and everything went wrong to have, a video of it.
Well, maybe you're right here, Chance, because it says the AI-powered platform is called the OR Black Box, named after the recording devices used in aircraft. Okay, I'm wrong and you're right, but that is what a black box in terms of software is.
Yeah.
Recording devices used events that led to a disaster or other incident. But the name is a bit of a misnomer. The technology is not a literal black box. Instead of wide-angled cameras and proprietary customized AI models. So it's watching surgeries?
Yeah.
Said the OR black box is said to anonymize people in the operating rooms. Model blurs faces, cartoonified body. Sorry, the text is small enough. I'm having a hard time reading this. You want to read any of it?
I can finish out the last couple of paragraphs on that first.
Yeah,
one.
I mean we don't have to read this whole thing, but just to get an idea of what it is,
The software aggregates and analyzes the data and reports back to the hospitals with insights on protocol compliance, efficiency, safety audits, quality controls, and key video and audio clips for review, annotation, and education. After 30 days, all recordings are erased. For example, the Boston Globe noted that Duke Health in North Carolina started using an OR black box 4 years ago and realized after looking at the data that its surgical teams were not carefully following the protocol for preparing patients' skin for incisions. It's the simple things that we thought we were doing well, Christopher Maneth, professor of surgery and vice chair of clinical operations at the Duke University School of Medicine, told the Globe. We looked at it and said, yeah, we're not doing this right. According to Maneth, the hospital bought the OR staff lunch and held a retraining session.
So basically, it's a narc.
It's a narc!
It's a narc for surgeons, which, I mean, I would like surgeons to have a narc, so...
Kind of wish I had that, yeah.
Of all the jobs that need, corporate monitoring, I'll take that one.
Although, what does this say for, socialized healthcare? What's going to happen when it's the AI that is telling them how to keep you alive?
If it's good enough at it, to prove that it's good, I'll take it.
This one
Yes.
really gets into it, right?
Yes, this is true.
This is what we're talking.
This is already happening. Okay, so for those that don't know, there's something out there called AutoGPT. Okay, AutoGPT is scary. You can give it a task. any task in the world. You can say, write me a remote access toolkit that affects this specific version of Windows, okay? AutoGPT has access to the internet and can start extra instances of itself. So it will delineate that task into separate points that it needs to take care of, start instances of itself, do the research, and aggregate the extra instances of itself back into itself, and then complete the task you ask for it. So yeah, this is a big thing.
But not to insult the intelligence of our audience, because I think anybody watching this is probably pretty intelligent, but what you're saying is that they're building hacking tools. When you say a remote access toolkit, if you're not familiar with that, that's a hacking tool. So you can have it write code for you that's useful for hacking. What I think this article is going to get to, and we'll skim it at least, is that just like you use bots for like speed running in video games, you can probe like a raptor in Jurassic Park for weak points. So AI will increase the number and impact of cyber attacks, Intel officers say. Ransomware is likely to be the biggest beneficiary in the next 2 years, UK's GCHQ says. That is, but...
Global Cybersecurity Headquarters is my guess.
Hit some of this. Threats from malicious cyber activity are likely to increase as nation states, financially motivated criminals, and novices increasingly incorporate artificial intelligence into their routines, the UK's top intelligence agency said. The assessment from the UK's government communication headquarters, you were, predicted ransomware will be the biggest threat to get a boost from AI over the next 2 years. AI will lower barriers to entry, a change that will bring a surge of new entrants into criminal enterprise. More experienced threat actors such as nation states, the commercial firms that serve them, and financial motivated crime groups will likely also benefit as AI allows them to identify vulnerabilities and bypass security defenses more efficiently. So to me that says it's able to probe at a level that a human can't for weaknesses, right? And if it knows how to identify weaknesses in code, for instance, or database overflow, stack overflows in memory, it might be able. It's going to be a lot better at it than any human is, because the reality is code has gotten so complex today that it's hard for humans to find like 0-day exploits.
Oh my god, I understand this. I guarantee you what's happening is they're using it to reverse engineer assembly back into code, and then having it look through the reverse engineered code to find the vulnerabilities, because that's something that takes humans a very, very long time.
Well, and nobody knows assembly code. So when Chance talks about assembly code, what that is like base level code that your computer runs on. Right above ones and zeros is assembly code, effectively. So when you write JavaScript or some sort of other programming language, this ultimately gets compiled down into assembly code or machine code for the machine to carry out these executions. And most people, even if you take a class, I've known people who've taken a class in assembly, you don't use it. You just understand the concept of what it is.
But it is like you can intercept assembly and reverse engineer it. And there's people out there that reverse engineer the assembly out. I watched a guy do it to a Lego City game. He's been reverse engineering the entirety of like a PlayStation 1 Lego game through assembly and getting the code for it released to the public. And it's like, it can be done, but my God.
That's like God's work stuff.
Yeah, it's just, oh dear. So if you can get an algorithm to do that for you?
Yeah, it's... I'll continue. Otherwise, we'll never... the emergent use of AI in cyber attacks is evolutionary, not revolutionary. That it enhances existing threats like ransomware, but not transform the risk landscape in the near term. Lindy Cameron, CEO of GHQ National Cyber Security Center, said. Cameron and other UK intelligence officials said that the country must ramp up defenses to counter the assessment, which was published Wednesday, focused on the effect AI will likely have in the next years. The chances of AI increasing the volume and impact of cyber attacks in that time frame were described as almost certain. The GCHQ's highest confidence rating. Other more specific predictions listed as almost certain were AI improving capabilities in reconnaissance and social engineering, making them more effective and harder to detect. So social engineering is kind of like spy work almost, like lying to people to get the information you need typically. More impact attacks against threat actors use AI to analyze extra data faster and more efficiently and train AI models.
Kali's got a social engineering toolkit baked into it.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is.
So, again, Kali is a Linux distribution for penetration testing, aka hacking. It's an operating system specifically for hacking because it has a lot of hacking tools built into it. It's open source.
Backtrack, man.
I don't know exactly what this one means. Do you? More impacted attacks against the UK.
Yeah, so the data that they get out, they're essentially able to more effectively and at a quicker pace than having a human dig through that data, and then they'll use that data to push the training of the bots that read the data even faster. So that's an exponential, like, they're able to get what they need exponentially quicker.
Beyond the 2-year threshold, commoditization of AI improving capabilities of financially motivated and state actors.
So people are going to start selling this stuff
AI
to
tools.
Criminals, yeah.
The trend of ransomware criminals and other types of threat actors who are already using AI.
Yeah.
2025 and beyond. Okay. Just going to keep happening. The area of biggest impact from AI, Wednesday's assessment said, would be social engineering, particularly for less skilled actors. So basically, you can have chatbots fool you, I guess.
Yeah, and you don't have to. You no longer have to study social engineering to be able to do it. You go and buy someone's social engineering specific chatbot, and you're good to go.
Like a really advanced script.
Mm-hmm.
Generative AI, Gen AI, can already be used to enable convincing interactions with victims, the creation of lure documents without the translation, spelling, and grammatical mistakes that are often reveal phishing. So, when you get that call from the Indian guy who doesn't seem English is not his first language, and he's trying to scam you by saying, your grandma's locked up in jail and you need to wire an Amazon gift card to, this address or whatever. Intelligence officials wrote, this will highly likely increase over the next 2 years. Models evolve and uptake increase. Assessment added to 2025 Gen AI and large language will make it difficult for anyone, regardless of their level of cybersecurity understanding, to assess whether an email or password reset request is genuine or to identify phishing, spoofing, or social. You have stuff like double authentication, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why you have it text you a code on top of your password. Like there are, I don't know,
But so hear me out. If you're able to, through, say, buying a password leak, get a corporate officer's emails, dig through them, and train the AI on those emails to contextually talk like that officer, it's not going to look as weird when you send an email from that guy's hacked email address to an employee asking for a password.
Yeah.
It's going to seem more like him, as I think what it's getting at.
You can make everything seem more
convincing.
Yeah. A threat of Mastodon. We'll just look at these other bullet points real quick. A threat on Mastodon provided a broader overview of reactions to the assessment from security experts. The key judgments of the assessments were: artificial intelligence will almost certainly increase the volume and heighten the impact of cyber attacks over the next few years. However, the impact on the cyber threat will be uneven. The threat to 2025 comes from evolution and enhancement of existing tactics, techniques, practices, all types of cyber threat actors, state or non-state, skilled or less skilled. So when they say state or non-state, that's what they literally mean, like the governments or non-government actors are already using AI to varying degrees. AI provides capability, uplift in reconnaissance and social engineering. So this is basically saying the same thing, right?
Yeah.
More sophisticated uses of AI in cyber operations are highly likely to be restricted to threat actors, access to quality trained data, significant expertise in both AI and cyber, and resource. More advanced uses are likely to be. Okay, I think we're good here, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's just restating everything that we read, kind of like in a more simple way. But yeah, that one, we get it.
So basically, the consequences of AI go well beyond just wackos worshipping it, right?
Yeah, I think we're in for something crazy.
I'm gonna go ahead and open calls right now so that we can get to a break. Calls 857-32-D-dial. That's 857-323-3425. If you want to give us a ring, we'll leave calls open for a little bit here.
Ring, 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 ring. Banana phone.
Do. Banana phone.
Classic, truly.
Oh, yeah. How do you not love it? If you can, if you're still watching and you like this content at all, please give us a like and subscribe. Follow us on Rumble. Check us out on X. Check out darkdial.com. We've got a cool forum to sign up for and links to all of our social pages, as well as a Discord, if you're interested in that. Jacqueline, you're very silent during this AI thing, and I feel like you might not think you're... I'm also talking very fast, but...
Yeah. I feel like I don't know. I don't know enough about it to have an actual opinion, and it kind of freaks me out.
Well, that was my question for you: is how much does it freak you out?
A lot.
Oh man. Oh, let me show you something real quick. I'm looking at some of the models. That is AI generated.
You want to throw it in chat?
Yeah, it's civitai.com. civitai.com. But it's like the current open source models, and some of these realism ones are realism about 3 months ago was probably like 70% there. These
look real.
They're there. It's there.
When we thought our self-esteem was bad before, now we have to look like AI.
Sorry.
Yeah, wait, what?
civitai.com.
Yay, now we get
CAVIT?
to be compared.
civitai.com.
Okay. But just so we know...
Yeah, and click on models on the page and it'll take you... Some of these realism models. So I use this website regularly to find new models to work with when I'm working with AI. I haven't checked in a few months. And like I said, the realism models were probably 70% there. They're there now. So there's one, scroll down to look for realism engine, SDXL. It's probably like 3 or 4 below where you're at currently. 3 or 4 rows. Right there. The chick with no, to the right of that. Look at that. I mean, that's spooky. That's spooky.
You want to explain models?
So models are essentially when you take a bunch of pictures, you can then take them through, you work them in reverse through the AI algorithm. So you hand the AI algorithm a picture, and then it looks at it and you destroy the picture, and then it tries its best to recreate the picture. And it will know in a feedback loop whether it'll look at them next to each other and it'll say, I did good or I did bad. And it'll take that reference and it will do that hundreds of thousands to millions of times with every picture that you feed it. And over time, it will learn how to recreate those pictures. So these are models that have been trained on realistic photographs of people. And so they've looked at millions of realistic photographs of human beings and been fed very, very specific data of, I want it to look like this, I want it to look like this, I want it to look like this. It breaks them down and tries to recreate them. And then at a certain point, you say, okay, good enough. And you end up with a final product, which is your model.
Scary. See, that's why I'm scared.
Basically how you've trained the AI. There's different. It's like a save file for the training on an AI when we refer to a model.
Or enough.
We'll wait till they can make a move and talk. And yeah, see, that's terrifying.
They can. Some of the ones that make them talk, the creators noticed how horrific the potential was and just wiped them from the internet. They're like, the GitHub projects aren't even there anymore. I think one of them was called Sad Talker. I don't think you can. That may not be the one that got taken down. It may have been like Deep Ran or something. Sad Talker's still up, but yeah, I mean, it's spooky.
Yeah, I don't like it. No, thank you.
Spooky, spooky, spooky.
It's going to be a massive tool for humanity. It's going to help humanity figure out... it's going to help humanity solve problems that we would be incapable of solving without it.
And it's really cool for fashion, I tell you what. You can get some pretty cool fit ideas, man.
I mean...
I've had hair like that before, many times.
I mean, those look real. Those I wouldn't be able to tell you. That one on the right would not be able to tell you that's AI.
Oh.
Make this bigger here.
And if you close the little pop-up on the right there too, it'll show you the prompt. Like, it used to be you needed like huge, crazy prompts to get detail like this. I think that one was 3 lines long.
It just looks like a normal selfie.
Yeah, if you're looking at this is not a human. It is a picture of a human. No. God, how do you even describe it? It's an AI-generated image of a human.
Yes.
This isn't a human, but it is extremely convincing.
Have you ever been to thispersondoesnotexist.com?
Yeah, we've done that.
Same deal, man. They had the face thing nailed a long time ago, but I mean, I think this is even more convincing than that website. I would not be able to tell you that that's fake. That is terrifying. I love it, though. Spooky in all the right ways.
You thought catfishing was bad before.
Dude, I was about to say, I'm about to make a new Cash App account, and woo! I tell you what, I'm going scamming, boys.
That's the scary thing is people, I mean, this has been talked about to death. I don't know that what we can add to this part of the conversation. We were getting more in detail with the cybersecurity and the religious aspects, but we brushed on it, the AI girlfriend thing or boyfriend thing.
A scourge. That is a scourge. That is like, I think that is like a population control attempt from hell.
It's an interesting indication of the cultural shift that has occurred, like I said, in terms of like 10-second TikTok videos and you get your dopamine hit and the meaning doesn't matter. What matters is feeling good. Feel good now, feel good now, feel good now. And that's what that is. That's not meaning. That's empty, void. It's nothing. You're worshiping air, and you're wasting your life. That's not a real connection. And like I said, what I've noticed in the little time that we've had creating long form content is we go live, we try to cut some segments out of it. That's a little bit shorter form, right? But essentially we're doing like one really long form stream for the most part.
Yep.
The people who are watching us are not young people. And it's not, honestly, most of them are older than we are.
Take that in a bad way. We are still young.
No, I mean, like, so Chance is the youngest of us.
Hurts. I don't feel young.
I'm in my mid-30s. Chance is in his mid-20s.
Yeah, something like that.
And nobody younger than their mid-20s seems to watch any of our videos. Maybe that'll change in the future, as we get some subscribers. Please do like and subscribe. Give us a follow on Rumble. We need the help.
Oh, God. Got it.
It's like tipping, but it's free, so you can feel good about it.
I'm not going to spin the Square terminal around and stare at you awkwardly after I make your sandwich.
Just point to the jar.
My brother said he had to stop watching so that he could go to bed and watch some TikTok videos.
No, is that what he said?
Irony here.
You tell him we're bad-mouthing him right now.
Right now.
No, he's just joking, but I thought that was hilarious. He said our show was just too long.
Oh yes, it's very long. We'll
It is
cut some
indeed more
segments
than
for you.
15 seconds.
He didn't want to put it in the chat, so I got the text and I'm sitting over here giggling to myself.
Is he joking about the TikTok thing, or is he
I'm
serious?
sure. Well,
Okay.
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't.
Why did he not want to put it in
This is why
chat
they all
then?
make fun of me, though, because I never know when they're joking, and I'm the baby of 5. They do this to me quite often. I never know what's a joke and what's not.
Kevin, you got to put it in chat, man. We need the chat.
Engagement.
I need to get in contact with your brother to see what kind of radio he has to see if we can make some
the other
long
one?
distance.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
that's my
it's
other
Kevin.
brother.
It's not Keith. Yeah,
See,
it's Keith
baby
that's
of
got the
5.
radio.
There's a lot of us.
Okay.
God.
Dead air.
I feel like you were looking at me over my head, and it was really weird.
No, I was looking at Chance doing the Loch Ness Monster thing and getting confused. I thought Keith was watching because I know he's called in before.
Oh, I know. Had a lot going on. And
That's all good.
everybody's in different time zones. We're literally from like Maine to Florida to where we are in Arizona and my other brother in Washington. So we're like, whoosh.
But we're not seeing any calls come in, so I think we should probably hit a break.
Yes, please.
And then when we get back, because I know I have to pee, we're going to...
I was going to say, I've had so much coffee.
I've got... What do I got here? Give you a brief preview. Study about Bigfoot. It's not that exciting. It's going to take like 2 seconds. Possible UFOs around Air Force One.
Oh, yummy.
There might be nothing here, but there's enough... it's enough high-profile thing to be like, okay, let's check that out. Something about lasers being shot from telescopes, which is just an example. And then I think we're going to do a follow-up on that squid alien video, which is really what I want to get to tonight.
What? Kari Lake is going to be my favorite.
Oh, yeah, shit.
That's literally like what I'm waiting for.
Okay, so we'll speed run the other couples, and then we'll do a quick follow-up on the squid
Squids.
aliens. Yeah.
Aliens.
Which, there's some stuff that I didn't know about that, and after watching UFO Revolution on Tubi, and if you're interested in this stuff, you know, no relation to us, but check it out. It's very interesting. Brought some more information to light than what we had read last week in the article, and I just wanted to get some more on camera about that.
I liked it. I thought it was interesting.
There's something else on like a weird monster thing, but we'll probably skip that. So I don't know. That's what we're looking for as we come back. So we'll be back in probably about 30 minutes here.
Yeah.
If you're still with us, please stay with us. Don't change that dark dial. Go ahead and give us a like and subscribe. Follow on Rumble. Check us out on X. Check out darkdial.com. All of our socials are on there, including Discord and our forum, which is a fun thing you can sign up for.
Take a breath.
I'm moving quick. Chance said he's not going to make it much longer, and look at him. I can see him fading.
Gonna go make him run around the block.
Freeze
Just
to
keep,
death.
just
We're gonna
keep him
shoot
running.
him up. We're gonna shoot him up with whatever they shoot Joe Biden up with, and
Oh,
then he'll
God.
be just fine.
I'm so excited to do this Kari Lake thing, guys. Like, I'm stoked.
He's gonna have a heart attack because whatever. I don't think your heart can handle whatever Joe Biden's getting.
God, no. My heart barely handles the amount of caffeine that I give it. I do have a giant metal device stuck in the middle of it.
Oh, there's that too. So maybe we
yeah.
shouldn't give him those drugs. All right, we love you. Give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you in 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to Dark Dial Thursday.
Welcome back. Thank you if you did not touch that dark dial or this dark dial, or no, please touch this dark dial, but don't touch that dial.
You can touch my dark dial.
Oh God.
Ooh, proposition.
Well, he still has that thing going where he has to wear a bikini. If
Oh,
we get to
yeah.
a certain number.
I think it was 1,000.
And you guys get to pick the color too.
Yes.
Pink. Hot
Of
pink.
course.
Like under blacklight.
Ooh, perfect. Perfect.
I don't know about you guys. I actually peed twice during break.
Well, we did have quite a bit to drink. Like,
Well, I always stay really hydrated while we're doing this because, we're talking a lot, mouth gets dry, and I'm, drinking like black tea, strongly brewed, lots of caffeine. It's always an exercise in caffeination.
I have brisk lemon iced tea.
What were you telling me about?
Yeah, so ginger ale. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. I'll pull the bottle out. Canada Dry ginger ale. I discovered something about, okay? I drink this because I thought it doesn't taste like it has a lot of sugar. It must not have a lot of sugar. And I've been pounding ginger. I love ginger ale. Okay? It's one of my favorite beverages. I've been pounding these back. This has got 50 grams of sugar in it. It's 101% of your daily value. It don't even taste like it. Where are they putting the sugar? Where are they putting the sugar? It's under your brake pedal.
You're really into certain traditional drinks because I know you're a big root beer fan too.
I
Like
hate
sarsaparilla.
root beer.
Oh my god, it's so good.
no, I hate it.
You like sodas that are made from roots.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a cola guy.
Cola's
I'm
made
not,
from nuts.
Yeah, I'm not picky about it. I probably like Coke the most, but I'll take a Pepsi, RC cola.
You ever had
Drink
Tab?
RC. Tab's like diet though.
It's weird. It's an interesting one.
So I'm actually really mad because there used to be Pepsi Max, and Pepsi Max became Pepsi Zero because Coke Zero started branding stuff. So Pepsi went off of that, and then they changed the formula recently. And this is a soda I have drank since youth. It's 0 calories, so it's artificial sweeteners, but it didn't leave that weird like aspartame, gross aftertaste as much as any of the other sodas. And it was also highly caffeinated. It was pretty close to like Red Bull level by volume.
yeah, they had a lot in it.
You remember, I
I
used to keep
do,
them stocked
yeah.
here in the studio, and they changed the formula, lowered the caffeine. They took out there was ginseng in it. They took the ginseng out, and it's gross now.
Interesting.
And-
Ginseng's a nootropic, by the by.
Yeah. It's very valued. Like good ginseng goes for a lot of money.
You know, creatine. Circling back to that.
Back
real
to your
quick.
creatine.
Yeah, also a nootropic. Also a nootropic. It increases the ability of the body to reassemble ADP into ATP in the brain at a rate of like 30%.
I feel like that term nootropic is thrown around a lot though. So I mean like it's like a mind thing, right? Like
Yeah.
a smart
Cognitive enhancer.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Yeah. It's a mind thing. Yeah,
Brain stuff.
because
you know?
lots of things are nootropics. Nicotine's a nootropic, Peppermint, I've heard, is good for the brain. All right, if you're watching us, thanks for hanging on. Please do give us a like and subscribe and follow on Rumble. We could really use it. Check out darkdial.com. You can find all our socials on there. Check us out on X.
Check us out on Triple X.
Don't check us out on XXX. We're not there.
Can't
You
wait
might
for the
be
Dark
only
Dial
one
Rule
on
34.
there.
Chance's secret Dark Dial profile that he created on. Yep.
Oh God.
So I got a beef, right? I got this article that I just want to rant about for a minute here. Give it a little bit of a zoom.
That's Sasquatch.
Okay, here's an Ars Technica article. Study finds Bigfoot sightings correlate with black bear populations. The big conclusion, if Bigfoot is there, it could be a bear.
They had to make it
what?
rhyme.
This is the perennial issue, is that, how many people misidentify bear as a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch.
I mean, they're not shaped the same.
They can stand up. So somebody inexperienced in the woods, I suppose, could think a bear is a Bigfoot.
They do got big feet though.
Well, and in some cases, their paw prints, if like a front limb or a front foot goes over a back foot, it can kind of look like a Bigfoot print. This is common with sun bears and the Yeti. But it does not explain all of the cases. It doesn't explain the Patterson-Gimlin footage. If you think you're looking at a bear in that footage, you're way off.
No, that
right?
bear had titties.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's a female and it has breasts. Take off the call now. Sorry. So I'm not even going to read this article. You can see what they're saying is, well, Bigfoot sightings match bear sightings in terms of their territory.
I disagree.
There's an obvious reason for this.
So we don't believe.
CIA introduced unnative black bear populations into all of the Bigfoot centers in America.
No, it's not even that complex. It's very simple. An environment that can sustain an animal as large as a bear could also sustain an animal as large as a Sasquatch. An environment that cannot sustain an environment that cannot sustain an animal as large as a bear cannot sustain a Sasquatch. It would be reasonable to assume that a Sasquatch and a bear has a similar diet. They have a similar amount of biomass. In order to accumulate that biomass, the food has to be in the environment for them to do so. That same food that a bear eats is the same food a Sasquatch eats, or at least there's a lot of overlap there. So how, and also let's talk about how remote these locations are. Are they large enough to sustain the traversing of a large animal?
Do you think Sasquatch meat is gamey?
I don't want to know. We can talk to Justin Smahy about that. Justin Smahy shot a Bigfoot and then submitted a piece they call the steak, a piece of fur, and he later went back and recovered it to Melba Ketchum for a DNA study. All of these are things we can dig into, but I just wanted to rant about this because you see this hypothesis all the time that Sasquatch is nothing but a misidentified bear, and that's not fair, and this article is particularly deceiving when it says that the conclusion is that if Bigfoot is out there, it could be a bear. No, there's a crossover in their environments. They don't necessarily have to fill the same ecological niche to both eke out the same existence and to accumulate the same amount of biomass.
The bears be eating fish, bro.
I'm sure. You think Sasquatch would eat? Sasquatch would eat a fish.
But does he catch the fish, or does he just catch straggling hikers?
I think fish is more realistic than deer. You know, a deer for an animal that doesn't use tools, presumably, if a Sasquatch didn't use tools.
But it can just pick the deer up and like spin it around until it dies.
Yeah, but you gotta catch it first. And that's a big animal. I don't know how fast a Sasquatch can move, but
Deer are fast.
that's it on my rant. What do you guys think?
I think I'm
No.
with you.
It is definitely not. No, they're two different things. I believe in both.
Yes, I
could
believe in
see
bears.
how
I believe in bears.
At a distance with no, like, if you
Yeah.
don't have video evidence, like someone just coming out of the woods, I saw Bigfoot. I can see how, like, you're 100 meters away from a bear and you see it stand up in the foliage behind a bunch of tree cover and you're like, did that thing just stand up? I can see
Right.
where that, like, mental break happens there, but, like, I think that you're absolutely right on the ecological perspective of this.
I'm not saying that there isn't a single case of a bear being misidentified as a Sasquatch. I'm sure there are cases, but it does not explain them all, and I would doubt it even explains the majority. It's a perennial issue, and I see this come up all the time. Study finds they correlate. Well, of course they correlate. You know, there are other things in nature, natural laws. I think I've talked about, I believe it's called Bergman's Law or Bergman's Principle, which states that the further north you get, the further from the equator you get, the larger the animal becomes. So when you look at Sasquatch footprints in the south, they're smaller than Sasquatch footprints in the north. When you look at bear footprints in the south, they're smaller. The deer we have here in Arizona, unless you're talking about mule deer, but like the white-tailed deer.
Small.
Yeah, white-tailed deer here are very small because they don't need that biomass to survive cold winters. So, just because this hypothetical species is following the same pattern as an actual species doesn't mean it's that species. It just means that it's following natural law. Bam.
Bam Margera? Is he Bigfoot? That wouldn't surprise me.
I don't know. I don't know enough about him.
Crazy dude.
Is
Crazy dude.
Let's check out this article. I only gave this a cursory look. Make this bigger so I might remotely be able to read it. UFO caught on camera hovering over Air Force One at LAX during Joe Biden's fundraising trips to Los Angeles. This was back in December 22nd, so a little bit ago. Kind of slipped under the radar, and honestly, I think it did because of the actual evidence isn't that compelling. Regardless, if there is a UFO hovering around Air Force One, even the slightest possibility, that sounds like a story to me.
I think they would have scrambled the F-16.
So it says President Joe Biden December visit to Tinseltown for a campaign fundraiser caused such a hullabaloo, even aliens may have wanted to see what all the fuss was about. Plane spotters caught a UFO on camera hovering above Air Force One in Los Angeles during Biden's December 10th trip, DailyMail.com can reveal. The spherical white and silver object was filmed several times over LAX airport and spotted by multiple witnesses. Explanations range from a mere balloon to an alien probe searching for intelligent life. Either way, it appeared to give up on the president's entourage after less than an hour. The object caused a stir on social media due to its resemblance to metallic orb UFOs caught on camera by Reaper drones in the Middle East and studied by the government's official UFO office, while skeptics dismissed this case as having a mundane explanation. Airplane enthusiasts Joshua and Peter Solorzano, mispronunciation dial, were filming at LAX airport on Sunday, December 10th, hoping to catch Air Force One. I feel like we just need to make it a meme that we can't pronounce anything, even the most... They were delighted to catch on camera two F-25 fighter jets patrolling the skies, enforcing a temporary flight restriction for Commander-in-Chief, and even filmed them being refueled mid-air by a KC-10 tanker aircraft. So here's Air Force One, presumably. Now, there is a couple of Air Force Ones, right? I was actually at the Phoenix airport once, and my flight was delayed because when Donald Trump was president, he was visiting for a rally, and they wouldn't let they had grounded all traffic so that he could take off. So I had to wait for him to take off in the plane until he took off, and I actually saw both the Air Force Ones. I believe Pence was on the other one or something. But it was interesting because I saw one take off and I still saw one on the ground.
Well, they never ride together. They can't.
Yeah, they do keep distance between public officials like that in the, what do you call it?
Well, if one goes down,
I want to call it the
they
hierarchy of
yeah.
power, but the...
They can't both die, basically.
Yeah, there's a phrase for that is escaping me right now. So this picture doesn't seem all that interesting, although doesn't it kind of weird to you?
Funky.
Yeah, like
the wings are offset.
like it's AI or something chopped it out, or
Yeah, don't look right. Maybe shutter speed issues.
yeah, it could totally be it. I mean, it's probably moving fast. So here's the picture of white or silver orb was likened to those seen by Reaper drones in the Middle East and appeared 3 times in just under an hour. Here it is here. I mean, it kind of sucks with stuff like this. So we always talk about the skepticism when it comes to, well, why don't you get it on camera? Well, yeah, everybody has a camera in their pocket. Yeah, they do. That camera doesn't have an optical zoom. Your digital zoom can only do so much in terms of you're not actually zooming in on the object, you're zooming in on the pixels. I think that's a fair characterization.
Why doesn't everyone carry around a 15-pound telescopic lens?
Exactly. And good luck aiming it at something like that.
Oh my god, yeah.
But at 10:18 a.m., while running their live stream on their popular YouTube channel, LA Flights, they spotted a white sphere zooming across the screen. 3 minutes later, the object appeared again, flitting across the top right of the camera view as it trained on the KC-10. The object appeared a third time at 11:08 directly over cameraman Joshua Solorzano. He can be heard on livestream saying, "It's directly above us. It is moving. It's not a star. I'm telling you, they're flying in the ocean. Very strange right now." Started to break down into my Captain Kirk. Joshua said he thought it was a balloon, but Peter referred to it as a UAP, the government's preferred term for unidentified anomalous phenomenon. UFOs is out, UAPs is in, folks. The two joked that the Secret Service would soon be bearing down on them to confiscate the spooky footage. Chris Kari, a 37-year-old screenwriter from the Palms neighborhood of Los Angeles, saw what appeared to be the same object at around 10:30 p.m. that day while he was walking through Culver City to catch a train. So somebody else reports seeing the object later going to a train, apparently. Here's Biden and the First Lady stepping off of Air Force One.
That's an umbrella.
Well, is it actually them?
Dun, dun, dun.
Biden's double, who also has had facelifts. Here's another image of the orb around this. The plane does look weird to me on this. I didn't see it move. I watched it for 15 minutes, see if it zipped off or anything. Just floated there, he said. So this talks about their podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, with that kind of... Look at it. It's a tiny picture. It could be anything.
Okay,
Kid's
so
balloon.
let's watch the video, and then I say we kind of leave this one, because
You know what I'm excited for.
we know that the rest of this is probably fluff. I think we've gotten all the facts.
This is a 9-hour video.
No. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, look at this. Never stop chasing. Get ready. Look at this.
LA Flights Live. So is this their podcast, I guess?
No, I think this is just a new...
I don't know. Look at
Yeah.
LA Flights. LA Flights Live. Is that what they referred to their podcast, or the creator captured
But
this?
why is it 9 hours long?
Watching planes take off and land.
It's boring.
Well, yeah, we've seen the relevant images here. I think that's what matters. My question for you guys is this a UFO? Or is this some sort of government defense technology?
That's what I was thinking.
And if that is the case, if it is some sort of government defense technology, is it the same kind of thing that we're misidentifying as UFOs?
Yeah,
We're just being foolish.
I think that's a likely conclusion to draw.
Well, it would seem highly coincidental that it would happen to be around Air Force One. Is this some sort of defense of Air Force One? Something government escorting the plane?
Maybe
For
it's
its
just a
safety.
weird radar bulb tethered to the back of Air Force One, you know what I mean? Kind of weird, strange tow along that we don't know anything about.
Maybe the aliens know it's Air Force One, and they're like, "This is the leader. We finally found him."
They don't even have to take us
Yeah.
to him anymore. We've got him.
I don't think they care who our leader is. That's like us caring what who's the alpha frog in the pond, you know?
Yeah.
Although I want to meet the alpha frog, so.
He's gonna talk in a Russian accent and have tattoos on his face. But
What do you think, Jacqueline? What's the your most likely scenario
I'm
here?
not sure. It could be like, a spot on the lens. Like, I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, It's very little evidence. I think that's
There's not enough behind it for me to make a judgment yet again, but I don't know. I don't necessarily think it was, an alien in broad daylight chasing Air Force One, which the plane looks weird anyways. I don't know.
AI generated aliens, everybody.
It easily could be. We saw what they have earlier.
I mean, to AI generate, how easy would it be to manipulate this image? There's not enough information here, and I think that's why it slid under my radar, but it seemed worthy of bringing up now. So
It's something. I don't know what, but it's something.
I'm gonna guess that it is some sort of defense technology for Air Force One or some sort of escort for it. That's where my money is.
Weird orb escort. Escorb.
With that, let's move on quickly here. So I have an article about a telescope shooting a laser in the sky from Antarctica. Okay. Well, should we do this or should we just move on to the good stuff?
I say we move on to the good stuff.
Okay. Well, I'll save that one. We can always bring it up on a slower week, I guess.
Well, the fact that Chance hasn't seen this yet is just way more exciting because I really want him to see
So
it.
let me visit the squid alien thing, and then we'll do the Kari Lake thing last.
Okay.
Give me a minute to get everything set up here before we start popping off. Hey, you there watching, please like and subscribe.
Give us a follow if you're watching on Rumble. We're about to get into the good stuff.
You won't miss anything because we're not doing anything.
You?
That is not the right article.
Last cup of coffee.
Uh-oh.
What will I do?
So, at the risk of revisiting this topic too much, this jellyfish alien that was featured by Jeremy Corbell in the 2B TMZ documentary UFO Revolution. I'm going to put this footage on so that we can talk a little bit more about it. What I found here was now, again, we looked at this last week, and I'll probably splice last week and this week into a segment, and those watching will wonder how we changed clothes so quickly.
We're quick change actresses, every single one of us.
Like we have it underneath and just peel it off.
Like the set has been completely redone. All right, so this is an enhanced and stabilized version of this jellyfish UFO. We talked about last week, just to give some context, this is at a U.S. military base in Afghanistan, and this thing would fly over the base. It would only be caught, not by the naked eye, not by thermal necessarily, but by infrared cameras, maybe thermal cameras, and it would go down into a lake next to the base in Afghanistan. And it would be there for like 11 minutes, and it was reported that it would shoot up out of the lake at like a 45-degree angle. I'm missing one of the links that I really wanted, but okay. I'll mute this. So one thing to note, you're seeing the original footage up here in the corner. Loop this while we talk. The original footage is up in the corner now. Is that the original recording? No, that's the original leaked recording. So what we were looking at last week, it appears, was somebody who captured this from government equipment with their own camera. So you're looking at a lens looking at a screen. And this is the enhanced and stabilized version of it, so we can get a little bit of a better view of this thing. And we talked last week about, certain materials that are transparent to the naked eye will easily show up when infrared refracts off of them. Information that I found particularly interesting, though. This exact UFO, or a UFO very like it, was described.
Oh, the little tendrils are moving, bro.
Did you see it move?
Yeah, the little tendrils on top of
I was
it
gonna
are
say
moving.
on the head, like a thing.
Everybody reported that it was stiff. Didn't really
Yeah, that's
move.
what I'm saying.
But
It's like
sometimes I'm seeing it and it
super
looks
high.
like it's moving.
Is it a beholder?
It also fades
Whoa.
kind of in and out, really weird.
almost turned into a ball.
This
was
is
weird.
slightly different footage than we saw.
Well, I think it's just longer and more stabilized. There is footage of it traveling over the lake, which
Bro, hold on. The little tendrils
Look,
on
it's all
top are
changing
moving.
shapes.
It's a beholder. It's a beholder.
it
What is a
does. It is
beholder?
moving. Holy cow! I think he's talking nerd.
I am. Dungeons and
Dude,
Dragons.
it's changing
Oh, okay.
shape and moving.
No, this footage is way better. There's also a second video of it traveling over the lake, which isn't particularly interesting, other than it looks like it's like just above the water and it is moving at high speed across the lake. That's about all that's happening. It's not this close or this detailed.
Yeah, bro, those are its eye stalks up there moving around. We finally thought-formed D&D monsters into reality.
So as I was saying, it was reported to have gone in the lake for like 15 minutes and then shoot out, and very specifically they said about a 45-degree angle at high speeds out of the lake.
Look!
And you can see people in some of this moving on the ground. We pointed that out before. But this,
Yeah, nobody's looking up. Nobody's noticing it.
I thought you guys would enjoy this because A, it's just better video. It's stabilized. Looks higher quality.
Oh, you know what? The high quality might be some AI upscaling, and that might contribute to the movement
moving?
too.
It says enhance. Now, I don't know what they did to enhance it. That could be AI filling in pixels
There's
or
something
something.
spinning on the top.
See, there's people. It just went right over some people. Let's look at the description real quick and see if they say anything about that chance, how it might have been enhanced. So investigative journalists Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp, both famous UFO guys, obtained and revealed this footage for the first time.
Not in that first. None of that is.
No, but it's interesting regardless. It's kind of what we're already saying. Shot off at extremely high rate of speed beyond the optical scope. The other thing that they pointed out big time was that it was not being, they couldn't lock onto it like with the equipment. Like they couldn't get a lock on the object because presumably whatever military equipment is being used here typically locks on to objects.
Yeah, you should be able to get that cursor over it, and it's just gonna.
Right, and now it's going to track it, and they couldn't get a lock on it. But one of the more interesting things that I've heard about this is reportedly UFO just like this was seen at U.S. nuclear facilities, specifically nuclear silos.
Uh-oh.
And according to Jeremy Corbell, he actually name-dropped Antex. So, Pantex is a primary United States nuclear weapons assembly and disassembly facility that aims to maintain the safety, security, and reliability of the U.S. nuclear weapons stockpile. So the gig on this is apparently this same kind of anomaly was seen at this facility, and apparently was captured on tape. Now that tape has not leaked or been released, but that is what Jeremy Corbell insists. The documentarian researcher who released this in conjunction with George Knapp.
Partnered with Leidos. I've heard that name before.
But Northeast
Looks like they used to be
In-
the SAIC.
Amarillo, Texas. It looks. Picture of the facility. I mean, these look like underground silos to me. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you think?
Yeah, they are.
Agreed.
So that's what they're saying, is that this thing was seen there. I have a hypothesis. Last week I said this is a drone. What if this is a drone and what we're looking at is its tendrils are designed to interface with our technology? That it's been custom made by probably a mothership or something to interface with our military tech.
I think that's totally possible. That's why it looks like it's cloaking.
Why it looks so weird.
Maybe they have a bunch of Geiger counters. The alien equivalent. Instead of clicky noises, it's like.
Well, I'm just wondering, like, it's like this. Like, if you were an ant, you don't have the hands to move the world, right? So, whatever species this is, like, let's just say there was an alien species visiting Earth. Their technology probably isn't particularly compatible with our own.
Yeah.
But if you had the ability to manufacture technology that could interface with ours, maybe that's what we're seeing, and that's why it looks like jumbled stuff, you know? It's a tool.
They stuck a bunch of, like, tube amps inside of it. Like,
Right?
get out
Like,
there, boy.
Like, I don't mean to make it as simple as, oh, its tendrils can reach into machines, but maybe it just has this is their best attempt to produce a drone, to produce a tool that can interface with our technology. And I think the reported sightings and potentially film of something very similar to a nuclear facility might back up that hypothesis, or at least lend to its credibility. Then again, I also said that it was LG, so
A floating sentient algae balloon.
that was a concept. I don't want to drill it into the ground, but
I feel like you're making me wait in anticipation.
okay. You want to get to it?
Yes.
Next segment.
I think it's still a squid person.
How much does it look like the jellyfish in our
Display of
jellyfish
jellyfish.
display?
Those are unethically harvested Australian box jellyfish.
That I
They're
stole
free
from
range,
my
bro.
child's bedroom.
Yeah. We just thought that was a cool knick-knack.
It's a beholder. Hell yeah.
Are y'all ready? I'm
Oh,
excited.
Marley. Oh, I know it. We know it. Yeah.
There's a like and subscribe there.
Big
Or give us a follow
I just-
on Rumble.
I've just gotten in the habit of hitting it while I'm like fumbling with URLs. Where'd my article go?
Oh no.
tasty article.
Chance, I told you to stop eating stuff from my notepad.
The pixels are so good.
You guys go ahead and banter while I find this thing.
Did you know I've got a fun fact about echidnas?
About what?
Uh,
Echidnas?
Knuckles.
Yeah, like the animal. They have Gatling gun penises. Yeah,
Okay.
It's
Well-
true. You can look it up.
Yeah, I'm good. Have you heard anything about the Kari Lake?
No, not a thing. I am
Okay.
completely unaware of what
About a
it's
10-minute video. And I was in shock. It's more than I've ever heard come out like this,
Yeah.
government-wise.
I'll hold back on that for just a second.
I can't. I'm too
Well, I just want
excited.
to be able to cut it in, you know? I need to find...
Too excited.
Oh, this is interesting. I'm on the Lidos website, which is one of the partners of that Pantax.
Yes.
I went to their pay and benefits page, and it wouldn't let me access any of the information until I turned Brave Shields down, which means they're probably tracking you if you want that info.
Yeah, like it's like anti-tracking.
Yeah.
What is it? I have a radar detector, and the radar detector has a way to detect radar detectors. Detectors?
They're a detector.
So it's so it has a radar detector.
We love that.
Like, it can detect if a cop has a way to detect your radar detector.
Oh my god, you get a benefit of a 10% discount at this place when you are working there. What do you get a discount on at a government aerospace engineering facility? What are you allowed to buy from them?
That jellyfish?
I would like to get 10% off of one of those jellyfish, please, and thank you.
Right. All right, so we're going to roll into this story. It kind of touches on politics, but this is real life conspiracy verified about power brokers and money and politics. And regardless of what your political leanings are, we're talking about a level of corruption that runs extremely deep and a level of conspiracy that runs extremely deep. So let's hit it.
Shouldn't matter what side you're on. This is not okay for anyone.
Okay, so we got audio recording reveals the moment that senior Republican figure tried to bribe Kari Lake not to run for Senate. So if you're unfamiliar with Kari Lake, she ran for governor in the state of Arizona, our state here. That's not a secret. And she lost. She lost against Katie Hobbs, who was at the time Secretary of State overseeing the election. So questions there about the election and its integrity. Without getting into all of that, and I'm not talking about the presidential election integrity, but Arizona's gubernatorial election. Without getting into that, she is now running for Senate, U.S. Senate, for one of the seats in Arizona. I don't know if it's the one currently held by Mark Kelly or Sinema, but she's running for one of the Senate seats. Upcoming election. So this says an audio recording obtained by dailymail.com reviews the extraordinary moment when what appears to be Arizona's top Republican official tried to bribe populist firebrand Kari Lake not to run in a state Senate race. Now, if I remember correctly, I believe she was like a news anchor.
I think prior to getting into politics, she might have been.
So the other character involved here is Jeff DeWitt, 51 years of age, chair of the Arizona Republican Party, can be heard asking Lake, a close ally of Donald Trump, to name her price to stay out of politics for 2. There are very powerful people who want to keep you out. Tells her, I'm not going to read that because we're going to listen to it. It's about 10 minutes long. Dwight tells Lake, I guess we should just listen to it. It tells the entire story.
You want to cut the music too so we can hear it a little better?
Sure, I will. The only thing that I want to mention, though, is that Jeff DeWitt, I looked into him. He is not like, your average corporatist. Can I pull him up real quick? Just to give us some context here, because I believe that's the part of the story that nobody is getting. I've seen Tim Pool talk about this. Everybody's talking about this. But nobody seems to be concerned with who Jeff DeWitt actually is. And he isn't the character you would think he is. And I've heard Kari Lake do some follow-up on this. So this is Jeff DeWitt. I think the two had a decent relationship prior to this. American businessman and politician, served as the chair of the Arizona Republican Party from January 2023 to January 2024. Because of this event, he was forced to step down. A member of the Republican Party, DeWitt became state treasurer of Arizona in 2015, succeeding Doug Ducey. DeWitt said in 2016 that he did not plan to seek re-election in 2018. In 2017, President Trump nominated him to be chief financial officer of NASA. His nomination as chief financial officer of NASA was confirmed by the U.S. Senate in March 2018. He resigned from NASA in February 2020 and joined Trump's 2020 campaign later that year. So, he was on the campaign. He worked for Donald Trump's campaign in 2020. So, every story that's covering this, and a lot of them are, covering it from a political lens, is missing this fact that this guy worked for Donald Trump's campaign. Now, does Donald Trump control everybody who works for his campaign? No. I'm not saying this is an indictment of Donald Trump. I just want people to understand that this wasn't a guy that the MAGA types would have identified as a sleazeball or a swamp creature. But here he is in this recording, being just that. DeWitt also served as chair of Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign in Arizona. So he was involved with the campaign in Arizona in 2016 as well. So he has a history with Donald Trump and the Kari Lake style politics. Maybe that's why he had access to her, but more than likely just because he's the head of the Republican Party in the state of Arizona. Let's give it a listen, and then we can, if you guys need me to pause, you just tell me, and we'll give our thoughts, open up calls, and probably end the show.
So what's going on? What is? I'm assuming this is our friend.
You guys hear it okay?
Yeah.
This is back east. There are very
Turn it up a
powerful
little bit
people
for the stream.
who wanna keep you out. Of the
I know
census.
they do.
But they're willing to put their money where their mouth is. In a bit.
I'm going to pause real quick. You can hear Kari Lake chewing in this, and I love that she's eating because it reminds me of that Always Sunny thing about where Frank Reynolds, Danny DeVito in it, is talking about how the top cow is always chewing, that it's like a power move to be eating while you're talking to somebody.
Way. So, this conversation never happened.
This is crazy, though. They should want me. I'm a great candidate. People love me. These people are corrupt.
Well, maybe you're right.
They are right. They are corrupt.
Maybe. This never happened. Don't go. Do me a favor though. I don't get myself in trouble. This, if you say no, which is fine, it's your choice. Don't tell people.
They're gonna try to have me murdered.
He literally whispered, "Don't tell people."
If that stuff that came out last week is right about the cartel stuff, man. They said the cartel's operating in 50 states right now, like all 50. You know? So.
They say that's just, there's a lot of interesting truths that appears to have leaked out through this, including this awareness that the cartel is operating in all 50 American states.
So what's going on? Who is it? What?
By that they mean the Mexican drug cartels, presumably.
Let's just say there are people calling around saying, gosh, no, they can't repeat this. Never repeat this. If you say no, don't, because say, I got offered to buy out. Don't use it. Because then we lose our ability to get things done in the future.
Here's my problem. Rather than just say, let's work with her, she's a great candidate. Because they don't own me. And it pisses me off.
Yeah, I don't know it's about ownership.
It's about control.
I don't know if it's about control. It's about
I don't know if it's about control.
being on the team. I guess that's, you know what I mean?
They want to be on the team.
About being on a team, I've honestly, my grandfather used to say politics is a team sport. Right, it is. You're not always going to find a politician you agree with at 100%. But to appeal to that like this, oof.
They want you to be on their team.
But
Just team. You know?
But if they're pushing a globalist agenda, I can't do that. So what do they want? What do they want me to do?
They want you to stay out for 2 years. What? I'll tell you what I can offer you. But I said you can do whatever she wants. Talking head, this and that. So the ask of me was, it's kind of funny. So the ask I got today from back east was, this is hesitate between us. Is there any companies out there or something that could just put her on the payroll and give her to keep her out? And I said, well, what are you willing to do? Like, whatever we need to do.
This is about defeating Trump. And I think that's a bad thing for our country. DeSantis is not America first. This is about the final death blow to Trump. And I don't think that's good for our country.
And you know I love Trump. I love Trump.
It's not good for our country, Jeff.
It's not. But at the same time, I'm not even sure Trump can win again. I don't know that he can win again. I think what it really comes down to for a lot of people, it's not really about like control or agenda. It's just about.
So she's recording this secretly,
ability to
and
raise
that kind of
money.
explains the
You know,
sound
if you really want
changes.
all
and-
of those,
Because we are a one-party consent state.
That's
We
true.
also said
even
it's
on
not
their
about
end, what we
control,
said
but then goes back and says, I think it's about control.
Yeah, and it is 100. He knows it's about control. And honestly, this guy's kind of the messenger, I think. How he becomes the messenger and should he be in trouble
for
because
who?
he's the messenger? Yeah, I think he probably should. But, yeah. But, she is, you're right. Arizona's a single party consent state. You can record someone without permission.
Don't want their payday to end. And I don't want to make a deal with these kind of people. This is a hill worth dying on. I'm not, if they're going to steal the election to make me and our movement go away, I'm not letting them do that. I owe it to the people of Arizona
Or,
to carry their torch and their voice.
or, you don't go away, but you pause.
This is the battles right now, Jeff.
You pause, and refill your coffers.
No, the battle is right now.
So
The battle is right now. And
he's telling her
we don't have time
he's
to
branding
sit
this as
about
just a
it.
break. They just want you
not.
to take a break.
What, you can't scratch their back. It's not afraid of you.
Yeah.
You don't have anything to offer them. And they're sitting around people that have stuff to offer them. You know what I mean? It's just, it's a back scratching club. That's all DC is. It's a big back scratching club. You're in no position to scratch anybody's back, and you've already made it known that if you get there, you're not going to scratch anybody's back. I don't scratch people's back. You know, I've been on the outs for a lot of people for a long time because I don't scratch backs. You know, where are we in 2 years?
Scratch your back, scratch
If
your back,
they
scratch
steal
your
the
back.
election again.
Listen to what you're saying. Why don't we do
Still
something
still
about it?
chewing.
So that we the people can
What
pick
a
our-
power play.
I'm not willing
God
to
bless
accept
Kari
that. And I'm
Lake.
going to be the biggest pain in these people's go back and
You want to talk about a real lady
running,
boss? There you go.
and I'm going to be the
She
biggest
knows the
pain in
move.
I'm willing to tell them that.
and they're going to have to kill me to stop me.
No, I know, look. And
You don't have to tell them that, but I don't think they will. But
Nah, I don't think that's the way they are.
I don't think that's the way they are.
either they come around and try to work with me, or I'm
What
just
would that
going to.
entail?
That would.
So he says, I don't think that's the way they are in terms of killing her. But hasn't that already been on the table when they're talking about the cartels? He's already said that. Well, there'd be a danger. I'd get killed. Cartels are operating 50 states. What's the connection between these people out east, power brokers and the cartels? And that's
Out east, is that the CIA?
and he's
In Langley?
Who knows?
And
Who
the
knows?
cartel owns the CIA, or the CIA owns the cartel because the CIA made the cartel, and the cartel's acting as hitmen for the CIA. There's a black van outside right now. I can feel it.
Well, and they're also saying, she has nothing to offer, this and that. Well, if she had nothing to offer, they wouldn't be there talking to her.
Well, and she has come out and said the sad thing is it could be 100 different entities that I know of. I don't know who those people are. When she's made comments, since this has dropped.
Well, and the other guy's probably going to
Entail.
disappear.
Not
All of
tell
them-
layman's telling me you.
Well, what I had heard, and I don't know, I don't have the article to substantiate it, but my understanding, at least I don't have it in front of me, is that after this event happened, because this happened back in September, I believe, Kari Lake's daughter had a brake failure on her car.
Like Princess Diana.
Yep.
You got to distance yourself from Trump. I know you distance yourself from DeSantis.
He's all butthurt about that.
But what I'm saying is, don't tell people that. I'm with Trump, okay? I want to work for the betterment of Arizona. I'm not going to let these people back in D.C. tell me not to run.
I'm telling you that's what
I'm not going to pause for 2 years. The battle is now. I'm offended by whoever these people are that they're trying to buy me out of.
Well, you should be honored.
That they're. I'm
Man, this
offended
guy
that
can
there's
spin.
People back there who just don't get about our country.
Do you understand though? You should be honored. That means they know how powerful you are.
Well, I can tell them
If
that.
you weren't powerful, they wouldn't.
Oh, but
they
she had
wouldn't
nothing
wanna
to
have this
offer.
conversation,
Yeah.
right? You should be. Very few people get this.
I know. I'm pissed that they don't care more about our country. It's all about the mighty dollar to them. And that's offensive.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
They want to get Trump so bad. They want him out so
It's not about
bad.
Trump. This isn't about Trump. It's about you. It's not about Trump. You're
I'm
really-
gonna
It's about you. It's not about Trump. Some people that are in on this, I know.
listen. I can win. Why don't you go back and tell them that I can win? And why don't they get behind me?
I see these things.
Does she really want those people behind her,
It's very
though?
personal to you. This was you. This was your name on the back.
Doubtful.
I mean, she'd probably take their money.
And it's very
I'd take
personal.
their money and then spit in their faces when the time came if I
I
had to.
have
appointment coming up, and I have to work on my book.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not good. I appreciate their concern.
Just to say, is there a number at which
I can be bought.
not be bought
Name
what
the
it's
number.
about.
Just write the number down.
for a couple of years?
No.
And then go right back to what you're doing.
I'm gonna leave this piece of paper right here. If just a number gets on it.
10 million, 20 million, 30, no. A billion, no. This is not about money. This is about our country. I think it's disturbing that they would even, that anybody would think this is.
So when she talks about country, I've tried to set this up as non-political as possible in terms of political parties. There used to be a sense in this country that you might not agree with the person across the aisle from you politically, but it would be a mistake to question that they had anything but the best interest of the country in mind. That you both have the best interest of the country, you just have a different vision for what it looks like. That doesn't seem to be the case anymore. I think we're talking about uniparty corruption at a level that is just completely unprecedented, and that this shows, if anything else, that the ballot, and George Carlin had a joke about this. We were watching it the other night. The ballot is full of pre-selected candidates. It is a false choice. You think you're choosing, but they only let you choose among the people that they decide are worthy of being chosen. And that's what this is demonstrating, right?
No, to be fair, even me, I'll say this. I want a fresh face right now for the reason that I've never seen anyone, I can't think of a single person in a federal race who's lost, ran in and won. I can't think of it. If you can think of it, let me know.
I am not going to let these people who hate our country tell me not to run. You should call them and tell them to get behind me.
I mean,
I can win, and they should get behind me.
I will happily say those words.
Yeah.
Do you think my words will carry any weight? No.
Okay, well, did you
This guy's a
think we were telling
messenger.
him
I think
would be
that goes
bought?
to show it.
It's not being bought.
Yes,
What
it
favor
is.
did he owe that he had to
It
proposition
is
her
being
like
bought.
this?
They are trying to buy me out of running,
What
and
I,
it's actually.
You think
I
he
mean,
knew
all
how
right, I'm
dangerous this
flattered.
was?
Oh, yeah.
I'm offended.
You know
I'm
Kari
worried
Lake.
for our country.
What I
We have
think
people
is
like
this.
this who live here.
what I think is this, is it can give you an incredible opportunity to have a bigger voice to fight for stuff than you currently do.
Yeah,
But does he have the authority to do that?
yeah. I don't want to deal with people like this. These people are un-American, and I think
I'm sorry, the authority to... What did you mean?
I didn't hear you.
You said the authority to do what?
Well, he had just said, do you think I hold anything, value with what he says? But then he decided that he can offer her this great opportunity to be even more powerful than she already is.
Well, I think he's speaking to the proposal that
She stay
he
away
is
for
a
2 years.
conduit for. Yeah. That,
Well, my
this could be a
favorite part
wonderful
about the
thing
whole
for
video
you.
is what just happened. When he says, "Are you crying?" She said, "Yes."
Yeah.
Because what he's doing is wrong.
Yeah, when she knows it, and she's a patriot, no matter what way you look at it. Like I said, I don't believe that Kari Lake has anything but the country's best interest in mind. I don't have to agree with her on what that vision looks like, but I think she is a patriot and she is loyal to country, and that's why she's crying. That's why this is upsetting her. And this guy is a conduit for a sleazeball offer.
they're unethical, and I would be absolutely immoral if I did that.
Again,
That's immoral. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror if I.
I think this is the point where it
It's
sounds
just
like they're getting into their
very
cars
powerful
and like separating.
that are willing to, they really want.
At least that's what I
something
thought it
different.
sounded
They want
like.
new names, whatever it is.
So they want Jim Lehman. That's a new name.
No, actually, that's not even, that's a possibility, but they're even asking me, like,
I know they've got all these new names, and I'm going to beat each and every one of them. Sorry, Jeff. Take it back to them.
oh,
I think it's
I gotta
Cinema
get
that's up
working.
for
I love you,
re-election,
but I
right?
gotta
Or
get
she's
working.
leaving.
all right, I appreciate it.
I mean, I'm just can't believe this.
I know she's.
Hey, again, be on.
You know that name that she said, Limon or whatever. That's another one of the candidates she's running against. Sheriff Mark Lamb is too of
Him too, though.
of Live PD or On Patrol Live fame. Well, he wasn't ever on Patrol Live, but he used to be on Live PD, the live cop show. And and his politics seem good. He seems like a good guy. He's had some tragedy in his family that's real sad, but there's a couple of good candidates in this race. It's just Kari Lake has such a high profile name. And let's finish it before I get too
Honored. Instead of them instead of just them working to beat you, they're trying to
This is about getting Trump out.
Nah,
Yeah, it is.
Trump never came once.
Well, it's about DeSantis, getting DeSantis in. Getting DeSantis is getting Trump out.
You're reading too deep into
A
it.
very crucial part is
Well,
coming up here, so
Let's see what happens. Maybe my case will go through. Maybe they'll do the right thing.
I hope so.
I do too. That's my first goal. But they can't have me in the governor's office because then we're going to root out some of this corruption.
But again, it's like
You know what it is? The people don't get to choose their elected officials unless they're pre-approved by the swamp.
there you go.
And the
That's
swamp
exactly the
isn't
point I was
pre-approving
making.
me.
you need a strong party to help.
I think you should go public with this and then say, hey,
No.
Exactly
These
the
people
point
don't wanna-
George
they don't
Carlin
want-
made,
they're-
I turn my
40
key in my
years
car
ago.
and I just.
Bam, there it is.
tell them I'm not flattered. I'm offended that
Don't
they...
tell anybody we had this conversation.
I'm offended
Don't
that
tell
they
anybody.
don't care about our country more.
I actually wish you'd just give me a counter offer that's big. Give me a counter.
I can't be bought.
Come on.
I can't.
All right, I'll see.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. There it is.
Good
They
for
know they're
her.
gonna get killed. Like, that's a possibility. You know, these people.
Well, and she even says that I'm willing to die for this.
Well, and it's referenced multiple times. I think it's like 3 times. Early, they talk about the cartels being in 50 states and, him going and then later on, him going public with it and
Well, like
being
3 or 4 times
exploded.
at the beginning, he keeps saying, like, don't tell anybody, or we don't have this conversation, or, he doesn't want it to leave that room.
Yeah, and I don't think he's scared of his political career
No,
necessarily.
I'm pretty
there.
sure he's scared of dying.
That's
This is the
funky.
craziest video I've ever seen.
Who's out east?
Well, and there's so much going on here that I'm racking my mind because there's another point that's in here that is like very poignant. They say, what if the election's stole again? Again, he says. What if the election's stolen again? Then where will you be? Is what he says to her. And I'm quoting him. I'm not saying anything about the election, but those are this guy's
Well,
words.
he's basically
DeWitt's
warning
words.
her that if she doesn't drop out now, that if she tries to run, she'll never get it. But if she pauses for 2 years, they'll make for sure that she's gonna go somewhere.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen. See, not to get too crazy political, but here's a theory for you. Trump wins this election, right? And then it comes out. They actually release evidence that he won the 2020 election and he's not eligible to be president again because he won the 2020 election.
I don't know how that would work. Constitutionally, there's no precedence for that. No, I don't know how much error correction there is in the electoral system, generally. I don't think there's anything set up. It's just assumed that you're going to play it straight and you go with the results.
Yeah.
This guy makes reference to stolen elections. He makes reference to assassinations.
Multiple times.
He's telling her when he mentions that, he's trying to provoke in her a fear of loss that, hey, look, if you don't take this deal now, what happens if you don't win? What happens if the election is stolen from you and you don't win? You're going to be kicking yourself because you could be rich, you could have more power. They just want you to put it on pause for 2 years. Whoever they are. And then there's a strange allusion to the cartels in association with this hypothetical assassination plot.
Which wouldn't surprise me. Sicarios will do anything for money.
When somebody's talking about a blank check to her, like here's what Kari Lake was just presented with a blank check to not run for
Well,
Senate.
and then he's like, give me a counter offer big. You know, like, basically they would have probably paid anything.
Yeah, because they can just print money.
Exactly.
The Nixon tapes are nothing compared to this.
This is crazy.
The only thing that I have in my mind in terms of a political reference for comparison is Rod Blagojevich, who was governor in Illinois. When Obama was senator, becomes president, he vacates his Senate seat, and Rod Blagojevich gets to appoint who goes into the Senate seat. It's not an election. And so he's on the phone talking about how he's got the golden ticket and somebody's going to pay him for it. You know, and he ends up in Illinois has a long standing history of sending its fine governors to ever so fine correctional institutions.
I don't know. This was probably in my lifetime one of the biggest things to ever come out.
Oh, this is crazy.
Well, and we're talking. You might be asking yourself, why are we this goofy conspiracy, paranormal, supernatural? We were just talking about the Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, UFOs, and now we're talking about this political conspiracy.
Because it's only a
this political
conspiracy
story.
until it comes true.
Exactly. This isn't a political story. This is a conspiracy story that happens to be political.
But assassinations don't happen. Payoffs don't happen.
No, this is a peek behind the curtain that we do not normally get, and we got it thanks to Kari Lake recording this. Now, Marty in chat mentioned, did he set her up? Or did she set him up, rather, to get the recording?
Even if she did, he said what he said willingly.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care if she lured him into making that offer. Somebody was willing to make that offer, and he was willing to present it.
Well, and he came to her. I would have hit record too. Like, she had every right to record what was being propositioned.
It's a single party consent state. They sound like they're even in a public area. Like, there's some limitations to that. Like, I don't know if you can go into somebody's own house where they have a reasonable expectation of privacy and record a conversation.
As long as you're part of you can't leave a recorder there. You can't bug.
Okay,
as long as you are party.
There has to be one party who consents to the recording, and you can be that party. Yeah. That makes sense. I think she's on good standing. I think that she released this is crazy. The story about her daughter potentially having brake failure shortly after this
It's a little suspicious.
is very suspicious. I mean, let's be real. How vulnerable are we in our everyday lives? There's so many points of vulnerability to exploit. And even for Kari Lake, that it's there. If somebody wants to get to her, they can get to her.
I pray they don't, because I really, really like her.
Yeah, I mean, I like Kari Lake, and I think this shows, again, no matter where your politics are, her heart's in the right place here. She believes in the country. You might not agree with her vision for it, but
you can hear it in her voice. Like, she believes in what she's saying. Right.
Now, she also knows she's being recorded, so you could make that argument. Well, she's playing it up as the recording. But I don't care,
Sounds genuine to me, though.
She had the lady balls to release this.
Kick ass.
Yeah. She's a boss.
Well, and I wonder if we'll ever see or hear from this man again.
No, I mean, he's around. He's stepped down now from his position in the Arizona Republican Party.
I'm sure he got his nice payoff, and he'll be able to live the rest of his life happily.
Not through the Arizona Republican Party, but through whatever corporate swamp entities.
I'm sure it's all those places he just offered her to work.
He just messed up, though. Somebody wants him dead.
Oh, yeah. No, he's give it like a year for this to get memory.
But they can't make it go boom in the car, because that would be too obvious. It'll be like a slow poisoning,
robbery,
suicide.
A suicide with 2 bullet holes in the back of his head.
Because that makes sense.
There was a Clinton staffer that was found hung from a tree by an electrical cord with a shotgun wound to their chest. No shotgun found in the area, and it was ruled a suicide.
Yeah. Some kind of accident. He'll be gone. I just pray they don't do anything to her.
Like I said, it's a peek behind the curtain. What else is happening that we don't get? The small percentage of stuff that must be released like this. And we don't know, like Jeff DeWitt. I can't say Jeff DeWitt's a bad guy. This makes him seem like he's a bad guy. But did he have a gun to his head to go, hey, you need to go make this sales pitch to Kari Lake? That's a possibility.
What
I don't
blackmail
know.
video do they have?
Yeah, we don't have context outside these 10 minutes or so minutes of audio. So, you know, we just know that there's a lot of nefarious stuff happening here. And this is a legitimate conspiracy by parties to keep Kari Lake from even running for U.S. Senate.
He has my vote.
Should we open up calls?
Yeah.
Going by here. Bring the calls in. Oh, if you are watching, please do give us a like and subscribe. Really use it. I'm going to throw up a graphic. There you go. Like and subscribe.
And follow on Rumble.
Follow us on Rumble. Check us out on X. If you whatever the medium, the platform is you want to check us out on, you can find them all on darkdial.com as well as our forum.
I know other people have got to have something to say about this. Like, it blew my mind. This is, I don't know. I can't wait for more stuff to come out and to see how this plays out.
Give us a call, 857-32-D-DIAL. That's 857-323-3425. We're not going to be on much longer here. A chance will pass out on
keel
top
over.
of me.
Yeah, I'm already like 30 minutes past.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying, man.
No,
You can
you're
hear how
good.
hard I'm talking tonight.
Just-
But yeah, if you do want to give us a call, give us a ring right away. We're on a 30-second delay, so we'll see here. We'll give it a couple of minutes, and we'll hang out for 5 more minutes and see if somebody calls in. 857-323-3425. Thanks for watching, everybody. We hit a lot of fun stuff tonight. I really enjoyed the AI talk.
Yeah. Well, and I'm hoping if people have something to say about this and they don't want to call in, that they'll write in like the Discord or the chat or whatever.
Oh, leave a
'cause
comment. Yeah.
This is big.
Leave a comment for us. I will cut this into a segment too, so we'll see what kind of reaction we get from at some point. Because I definitely want to cut some of that AI stuff. That was kind of an organic segment we had here. Bigfoot is not a black bear.
What is he?
I just think this is mind-blowing. I think more should come out like this. I hope she freaking kills it.
We'll see. But obviously, very powerful entities do not want to see her succeed. So, did that blow your mind, Chance? I know you hadn't heard that.
Yeah, I'm a little taken aback. That is
You even have a frame of reference in your head for something like this, for an audio leak like that.
Watergate, but like you said, it's not
Right.
even. This is a little bit crazier than that.
Watergate's surprisingly timid when you actually start to, we were raised with this perception of it, that it was Nixon did this horrible, horrible thing. And I don't know. It just strikes me as surprisingly timid compared to the stuff that goes on today,
Mhm.
clearly.
Yeah, no doubt. That is insane. I don't know what to make of that.
If every politician recorded conversations like this, I wonder how many recordings we would have.
Well, yeah, how many of them have that opportunity? Now, I forget what her response was as to why she started the recording. There was some sort of preamble to this talk that caused her to record it, that she knew something was happening or she was going to be offered something.
DC's single party consent too.
Well, I think DeWitt had told her that he had something to talk to her about, and she had the suspicion that it was nefarious.
I think the next few months are going to be something like we've never seen before.
After your show, so I don't feel uneducated tonight. No problem, man. I know about this tape, but I have to commit my head for analysis yet. Yeah, it's wild. It's cool. I
we
mean,
can always go back to it next week.
like
too.
I said, we're in Arizona, so we're keenly aware of who Kari Lake is, and that was a point that I was going to bring up. Is her running for governor You guys can back me up. How much enthusiasm did you see behind Kari Lake when she was running?
Oh my God, it was
sure.
huge. It was, well, especially around here, all the signs, everybody. And nobody seemed to like want, you know,
Katie
Hobbs or
Hobbs.
whatever. So
I didn't see a lot of Katie Hobbs enthusiasm, but there was a lot of populist momentum behind Kari Lake.
suddenly
It was a shocker
went a
that
little
she didn't get
different.
elected. Yeah, it was.
We
was
woke
a
up the
shocker.
next day and we were like, wait, what?
Uh-huh.
It didn't make sense.
Not
because
at all.
Nobody seemed enthused about Katie Hobbs.
It should have been Lake.
I'm not sure. I've wasn't really paying attention during that time frame, so I didn't catch the stuff.
When Gavin and I had talked about it many, many times because of like the morning shows and stuff that we watch, it was always on, and they had her on a few times, and we agreed like, hey, we really like her and this and that. And for her, I think she
Well, there
was
are
like
things I don't
almost-
agree with her on.
Right,
I don't
same.
want to say I support her like that, but
Right, but there were, I mean, everybody was kind of predicting her win. And it went so different than we had all expected. I don't know.
Rick says he's going to talk to his PI friend in Arizona and see what he has to say.
Yes,
Oh,
please.
Yeah, I'd love. Yeah, if you get any inside track on that or any insight, for sure.
And also tell him to get me in the PI biz.
Oh my God, we've talked about that forever. I want to
We
be a
have
real
all
life
talked about
Nancy
that.
Drew.
Yeah, I mean, like, if the show doesn't allude to that, our interest in that kind of stuff, what would? All right, yeah, and obviously we're like I said, we've had a front row seat to Kari Lake being from Arizona. All right, well, let's shut it down for the night, guys.
Yeah?
What do you say?
Yeah.
Gotta
ahead,
give Chance a break.
Chance, give your best like and subscribe right now. Do it. Take all your creatine energy, just build it all up and all of that muscle fiber. And here we go.
Use my feet.
Go.
Oh God. Was a like, subscribe, or a follow on Rumble. We would
You-
really, really, really appreciate it.
You have to like and subscribe. Those were Balenciaga shoes.
They are.
There's a conspiracy for you.
And
Why
they're
does somebody
blue.
at Dark Dial have Balenciaga shoes?
The world may never know.
Message Chance at darkdial.com about that.
Hey, he might even sell them right off his feet.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, you want to buy Chance's Balenciagas?
I'll even sign them.
They'll be famous one day.
They'll be worth less.
I hope everyone has a wonderful Thursday night.
Rick says, have a great night. Eat the mic. Yeah, that's what I'm always screaming at him. Eat the mic. I can't hear you. And what's funny is I get cut out and I don't hear it. So I try to eat the mic. All right. We love you. We love you. Like and subscribe. Check out darkdial.com. Follow us on Rumble. Find us on X. We'll see you probably Thursday. I don't know. I know Chance
We
has
will
got
see
some
you next Thursday.
Chance has got some schedule changes. The show
Yeah,
might end
I
up
don't
being
know
a Friday
exactly
thing
what's
again.
going
I don't
on
know.
with that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Bye, guys.